I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Sabrina, go ahead and we're gonna do the proclamation first.
I'll make a motion. The Board of Commissioners approves the October 12th, 2023 regular meeting minutes.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes. All right, come on forward, sir. We're gonna do a proclamation for National Red Ribbon Week.
Yeah.
Proclamation, National Red Ribbon Week, October 23rd through October 31st. Whereas communities across America have been plagued with the numerous problems associated with illicit drug use and those trafficking them. And whereas there is hope in winning the war on drugs, and the hope lies in the education and drug demand reduction, coupled with hard work and determination of organizations such as the Young Marines of the Marine Corps League foster healthy, drug-free lifestyle. And whereas the governments and community leaders know that citizen support is one of the most effective tools in the effort to reduce and use the use of illicit drugs in our communities. And
Whereas the red ribbon has been chosen as a symbol commemorating the work of Enrique Kiki Camarino, a drug enforcement administration agent who was murdered in the line of duty, and represents the belief that one person can make a difference. And whereas the October 23rd to 31st has been designated National Red Ribbon Week, which encourages Americans to wear a red ribbon to show their support for a drug-free environment, and now therefore it be
Let it be resolved that the Portage County Board of Commissioners hereby proclaim the week of October 23rd through the 31st as National Red Ribbon Week, signed by your three Portage County Commissioners.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate your
Thank
support.
you for all your work.
Thank
too.
you.
You do
Thank
a
you.
great job, Jamie.
Yes.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Jamie. Can we get a picture?
You
Yeah.
can-
Absolutely.
You can come up here.
All right.
Yeah, come on up, Jamie.
Put you right in the middle of that.
All
circle
right.
right
Monkey in
there.
the middle.
There you go.
Close.
Oh. Is that your hand?
Ready? Okay, I got a few.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good job.
Look forward to working with you guys more. Come
Good seeing you, man.
Thank you.
Call anytime.
Will do. Thank you.
Thanks, Susan. Sure, it's hot in here. Is the window open?
I'm
Yeah,
open
we-
both of them.
Came in right
I am normally cold.
You want I'll give you my card, you can email
Okay.
me your address, and I'll
Great.
send
Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Okay, and we're a little ahead of schedule.
We like that.
Do you want to?
Well, let me hold you up. Thank
Okay,
you.
that's right.
Thanks again.
Is it
All right.
Ohio State? Bifocals too, huh?
No.
Are you lying?
Do we want to go to miscellaneous?
Yes.
All right. The Board of Commissioners acknowledges the receipt of the Portage County Investment Portfolio Report for September 2023 as presented by the Portage County Treasurer.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners acknowledges the receipt of the Kennel Disposition Report and Intake Report for October 2nd, 2023 through October 8th, 2023 as presented by the Chief Dog Warden, Dave McIntyre.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners acknowledges the receipt of the October 10th, 2023 Certificate of the County Auditor that the annual appropriation from each fund does not exceed the amended official certificate of estimated resources for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2023.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Okay, the Board of Commissioners acknowledges the acceptance of donations to the Office of the Portage County Dog Warden.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Oh, did you want to ask Cassidy about the last meeting of the month?
Would we like to have a end of month Tuesday meeting for the month of October?
No.
I don't, unless there's a need, I don't see.
It would be the 31st.
Yes, it would.
I don't see a
Actual
reason for that.
Halloween? No?
I don't see, well, we can see Mike get dressed up. That'd be a good reason.
What would Mike be?
I'm dressed up already.
Let's not have it.
Okay.
Let's not have it. I'd hate to have to come in with my Glinda the Good Witch costume.
Oh, Lord.
You know I'm gonna be wearing it.
Can we see if the Ohio State is here?
Extension?
You want me to go see?
Yep.
I can do that.
They're normally here a couple minutes early.
There was a small group coming.
Okay.
3 or 4.
Yep.
Yeah. They're a good group.
Mhm.
They do a lot.
It's always cool to see how excited they get about everything.
And you're right. And they're really compassionate and what youth need nowadays.
You gonna get your flu shot, Mike?
Oh, I had that already.
Oh, that's right.
I got mine about 3 weeks ago, I think.
You could have mine as well.
Okay.
And
Appreciate
mine.
it.
I'm not doing flu or COVID anymore.
No.
They made me sick as a dog. And I did all the COVID
Symptoms
shots
of you
and
got
all the boosters, and I got it 3 times.
Yep. False advertisement.
So I'm fascinated.
I think the last time somebody put those in when I was in Marine Corps, they just shoot everything in you every time you went overseas. Yuck.
Oh yeah, they
just-
that big hand there.
They have the air guns.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hey there, ladies.
Hello, how are you?
Come on in.
I'll sign in real quick and then.
Okay.
Thank you for the Hershey bar.
The sweetest day.
Yes. Hershey.
Feel like you're not.
Sweetest day started
Oh
over.
look, it says Queen, cheerleader, Brava,
Oh, Lord.
Brave,
But you're on the right track. Good morning.
How are you?
It looks great.
Kirky, daring,
Keep going.
It's a little more
clever, heard, obnoxious.
We always get there. We've started, and that's on the side.
Just kidding. There's one. Resource.
So we're gonna start as soon as you got here.
Hi.
Good morning.
That's
morning.
fine with us.
Morning, everybody. Come on in.
Guys,
It looks great in here.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, you like it, huh?
Yeah, we haven't been here since last year.
Yeah,
Everything's
last time
well
we were in
backwards.
here, there was a platform, wooden platform.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was a work in progress.
That's right. That's
Good.
right.
Thank you.
I'll go ahead and pass these out real quick. So.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Yeah, lots has changed.
Thank
I have
you.
a 10-month-old now, so.
Holy cow.
Wait a second. You have a 10-month-old?
I have a 10-month-old, yes.
My daughter's got a 10-month-old.
I got married later in life.
Okay.
And, we have 3, so the third one puts you over the edge.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Good for you.
No doubt about it.
So,
Yay.
it's
Who's ever
fun.
going?
Wood trade.
You're ready.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you all again. Okay, so we have a wonderful packet here for you. Hopefully we're gonna go over a lot of information, a lot of our updates from this past year as well. And then we'll get into our budget. So if you wanna go ahead and start.
All right, so on the left-hand side, we'll start there first, just because we won't get too involved in the information here. So we have our staffing chart, and this is just a visual for you to see who we all have in our extension office at the current moment. We do have 2 vacant positions. If you remember Ashley Fosnight, she had the blonde curly hair. We are so sad that she did have to move on into a new position, just for, family reasons and things, but I think she set us up for success in a lot of ways, sorting our financial office and things. So that spot is now open and we are working to get that filled again. And then we do have still the vacant A&R position, but
So we made and hire Seth Canberg. He's local, Portage County. When I first read his application, I was like, it's too good to be true. He's
Yes.
amazing, master's in plant health management. He's worked with everything from corn and soybeans to all our specialty crops. And even on the natural resources side, he's revamped a bunch of trails in the Cuyahoga Valley National Forest,
Nice.
which is, our next door neighbor. So we're really excited. He starts on November 6th. So, and his goal is 100 farm visits before the end of the year.
Oh, that's
So
great.
really
For the
help
end
us.
of this year?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah,
Wow.
at first he was
Cool.
like, I'm not, and then he's like, yeah, I can do that. I'm like, good, that's my expectation. So, worked with our friends at Deerfield and Farm Bureau and other
Mhm.
organizations to say, you know, here, what do we really need to do moving forward? So they're all thrilled. They were like,
Yeah.
we gotta snatch him before anybody else takes him,
Yes.
so.
Okay, great,
And
excellent.
it's nice to have somebody that is local.
And what's his name?
Yeah.
Seth Canberg, K-A-N-N-B-E-R-G.
Do that one more time.
Canberg, K-A-N-N-B-E-R-G. It might be Canberg. We'll send you an email with his email address and stuff.
And he's filling the educator ANR?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Where
Yep.
Angie used to be. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just saw a picture of her and her babies on Facebook.
I know.
I
Yeah,
miss
she just
her
had
stuff.
another one, right? Or
She's
about
got
to?
one
She's
more on the,
pregnant.
the
She's
last
Pregnant.
one.
And
Number
I
4.
thought she looked like she was, but I was like, I'm not
Yep.
gonna say anything. But yeah.
I'm a doctor, I'll have a conversation when it happens.
It'll be 4 under 4 for Angie.
She's so
That
cute.
is, wow.
4 under 4.
Yeah.
She wanted.
Oh.
She did you?
Oh.
She said, get it
Yeah,
out
she
of
wanted
the
to get
way.
it
We gotta
over
check
with.
with her next year.
Right.
Yeah.
Make sure she's okay.
5 under 5, let's just keep going.
Wow.
Right. But when Seth does come and
Cute
get
kids.
settled, I'll be sure to bring him in just
Yes,
to
please
visit with
do.
you guys
On day
and
1.
introduce you. So, all right. We just wanted to give that layout for you. So behind that, we have, of course, our office hours, and we're hoping once we kind of get more positions in, we may be able to talk about opening, back up to 4 days and having it open. We're usually there always on Tuesdays, and if people come, we'll open the door for them, but we don't advertise that we're open to the public. And then there's all our positions and contact information if you need it. And then we provided again the what is extension just because we think it's a beautiful layout of kind of what we offer and the services we can provide. So just another copy of that for you there. And then behind that is our map and kind of a visual of where we're reaching in the county. A big majority of that is, of course, on that eastern side, or sorry, western side. Oh boy. But I think we've all seen this one before too as well, but please take a look.
Just updated with some of our new contacts.
New contacts, new additions. Usually most of those are in our Master Gardener area. I believe some of the farm pesticide training too would have been added. We'll add some 4-H clubs here soon as well. All right, a new thing that we are providing this time is a lien on your land grant. Do you know more about this?
So
one?
this is some of the things statewide that we participate in. All these are what Portage County's been helping with, especially when we look at the water quality team and what Angie was doing with our farmers. We still have the H2 Ohio, where a lot of state funding goes to worried about Lake Erie, and most of the county drains into Lake Erie. So working with farmers on the water quality issues, phosphorus, dissolved phosphorus is our biggest concern, and trying to help them to not over fertilize. So really working with them on soil tests and one-on-one conversations about your levels are fine, you don't need to fertilize. Because the old school thing is, I need to put pre-plant fertilizer down, I need to,
More's
no.
better.
It's a waste of your money, and it's not good for, the lake and the
Yeah.
environment as well.
Is that where we see a lot of the green algae?
The algae blooms.
That's what's
right.
feeding the algae blooms is dissolved phosphorus.
Mhm.
So, farming is the #1 pinpoint for that, but right next to it is public water supply and the sewage that's coming out, because the water's coming in and then it's going out into the water. So, we've made some strides. We haven't had any huge algae blooms for 3 or 4 years now. So we think the management's getting there. It's getting better and better every year. So we just need some longer term solutions to make sure it's not happening.
Okay, so we're taking a look at that for sure, just to get an understanding of how things are going. Behind that, our SNAP Ed person, Jordan, she provided this for us. So she's primarily out, or she works from the Summit County office. So we don't get to see her often, but she travels in and teaches in Portage County. It's just kind of like a split, shared position with that. But her numbers did go up, and we'll go over that in the community impacts for this next thing. And behind that, something more I can talk about personally, is the 4-H youth development and some of the highlights about this year and this summer. This is, of course, not all that we've done, but I think that it's 3 really good things that we've done this year. So we were written onto a multi-county grant this summer with the Ohio Department of Education, and we were able to provide an enrichment programming to Ravenna City Schools. We met with students from grades 1st through 8th grade. It was so much, it was targeted towards those youth that needed more, I guess, support in their academic field. Once they reached out to those youth first and saw who was interested, then they opened it to everybody in the school. So we got about 44 participants that were willing to come to the school for 2 weeks this summer to meet with their teachers for the first half of the day, get some extra foundational, education, and then they met with us in the afternoon and we did some fun science programming. So it was very interesting having kids smash starbursts in their hands and learn about rock cycles and things like that.
Oh, wow.
We launched rockets, we learned about like jet propulsions. The whole theme of the camp this summer was Mars and space. So we just kind of opened their minds to some of that science programming, and they had a blast, especially the last day, which that picture is them launching their bottle rockets. So, but that's definitely a lot of those, or because of that grant, we were able to get a lot of supplies that we were hoping to continue using, the way that we should, and get into more schools to do some more of these programmings. And then the second one, this is just a picture of Hannah instructing, and Hannah is our student assistant.
Hi, Hannah.
If you do recognize her, we've fortunately been able to have her for a year now. Your 1 year anniversary was this fall, but because she's a student assistant, we've been able to keep her on, and she's really helped us with this programming. So in this picture, she is instructing our youth flying drones, and they're using iPads and technology there. But this was at Medina County Ag Day. So this was a program that they brought over 300 students from a local middle school in, and they taught them about agricultural business and the different technologies and careers that they can get involved in. An Ag Day program is done in a couple other counties. I want to say it started in Ashtabula. That's where I'm from. I have been a part of that program for many years. I would like to, of course, in the future, when we're kind of got a good support staff, maybe do something in this county. Ashtabula does it with first graders. They did it with middle schoolers and saw a great thing, just talking about careers. They're more willing to listen in middle school about careers and opportunities like that. Other than the first graders, it's just exposing them to agriculture.
So with Seth's expertise in use of drones and his soybean research,
Yeah.
that's something we're gonna be able to do in the coming year,
Yeah.
is to get an Ag Day where we really help them. So it goes back to all that financial literacy, career development that we're focused on at the state level, trying to get the youth to understand, gotta get on this career path now, you can't wait. And they don't have to go to college, a lot of our, you see the construction businesses and all the farm businesses around the county, and those are required events.
Mhm.
So we think about, can we get them into the career center and those places to expand their career options for the future?
It was just a good program to get us out there and practice our use of the technology. That was, cut my hand and I lost a couple drone propellers, but that's okay. But it was a great event overall, and the more times we do those kinds of things is the more that we can bring back and understand the programming to do something here. And then the last but not least, we had, I think, as you know, the Portage County Randolph Fair is one of our largest events. Of course,
Yeah.
where all of our 4-H youth are there to present everything that they've worked so hard on in the summer. But then also for us to get our name out there. We set our table up in the Hubbard building, and we also do just a little kind of like demonstration event. It's just an hour, 4 days out of the full week. But any youth that are coming through can come stop by, and we set up our Spheros, and that's coding technology again with the iPads. But we had a very large increase of youth that attended. So we had about 150 participants that came through, stopped by. Some of them stayed for 5 minutes, and some of them stayed for the full 30 minutes, half hour, or full hour. So that was really good to see as well, and we hope to continue doing that and potentially growing that area as well. And then on the back of this page, I just want to mention these are some of the future programs that are definitely happening next year. These are some annual things that always occur, sprinkled in with another year of the ODE summer camp. Hopefully we can, I think Ravenna is definitely interested in having us back, but we'll see in maybe some other areas that we can expand that. A lot of school enrichment is growing thanks to having Jill in our wheelhouse. She's our program assistant, and she's really the one that's been communicating with our teachers and trying to get us out there better. So yeah, definitely take a look at those and see what we're up to for this
So you
next
notice on that org chart, Jill is this black box down here, that means
Yes.
she's
Everything?
not Huh?
Everything?
Yeah.
Right.
So that we're using, so we have a contract with the courts, juvenile courts for our Carteens program. And then we have this Department of Education grant that I manage for about 16 counties. And that money is what pays Jill's salary and our student assistant most of the time.
Excellent.
So we're trying to be as resourceful as we can with county dollars, state and federal as well.
Alright, and then on the right-hand side, feel free, anybody to chime in, I'll keep going though. I just wanted to give, this is our 4-H, Ohio 4-H Project Central book. I would have given you a copy of our family guide, but we're meeting earlier this year and I don't get those until the first week in November. So this is what you got for now, but the updated online version is on the website. But if you're ever interested in seeing what kind of things 4-H does offer, especially whatever you might be interested in might be a project on the 4-H website.
Because we'd always like to get you to be a judge at our pre-fair judging, or if you're a great communicator. We also had a public speaking event happening. Yeah, Sabrina loves coming to those. We'd love to have you all out. And if there's any other county employees who are like, so-and-so is really a photography guru. It'd be a great connection to get some of those county folks to help us out with some project judging and stuff. It's a big couple days when we do
Does
individual
it matter
project.
if there's a thumb in every picture? Because I think that's Tenlin's MO on photography.
I'll move out of the way.
I was looking,
Just slide back.
I was looking more for the yoga.
There we go.
Yoga, see?
Yoga.
I am 4-H
I
yoga
was yoga.
certified. We're
See, I
actually
need
yoga
to-
certified. We're teaching
Need to tighten up a little bit.
Feel free to visit us at the Reed Memorial Library.
Do I have to
this
wear
spring.
spandex?
No,
Oh,
no.
gosh.
It's all family oriented.
All right.
No, for everybody, don't.
Yeah,
Oh, now,
That's like me wearing spandex.
why'd you have to go there?
That'd be
Oh,
great.
boy.
Okay, what else?
We got him on the list for mindfulness.
Jill,
now.
go ahead.
That's right, mindfulness, right? Okay, and then I just wanted to give save the date for our Portage, or our week at Camp Whitewood. I don't know if you remember last year, we usually camp as 4 counties, Mahoning, Columbia, Stark, and Portage. This year, we have taken the responsibility of splitting into 2. So hopefully we can, of course, bring some more support to Camp Whitewood and getting more kids there, and then, of course, more enrollments and finances for camp. But just to get more of our own county youth up to camp, because there's only 159 bunks, and if they're not all Portage kids, we want to make sure the more and more we can get each year for Portage to get up there. We were the leading one last year, which is why we took the responsibility of splitting, and hopefully we can get back up to those same numbers this year. That's one of my favorite events of the whole year, so I always like to mention it. All right, and then our community impacts. This is the kind of bread and butter of why we're here and what OSU Extension does in the county. So of course, again, we just have the contact information, a little picture of us, some of us from the office. First page, keep talking with 4-H Youth Development. We did see an increase of almost numbers across the board. I did provide an additional copy behind the packet of just the 2022 impacts for 4-H, just to show you the increase for 2023. So we did see an increase of our youth members that have joined our community clubs. A very big jump of our projects that were enrolled for this year as well. We did have a good increase of volunteers that officially made it through the process. Sometimes it's hard for a lot of our volunteers to finish the last steps, or we're waiting on background checks and things like that. But I got a couple of them that I'll keep in contact with to make sure that they do get on this list for next year. And then we did, of course, have a big increase, and we were completely full at camp this year with counselors and youth participants. Now, this Carteens number looks smaller than what is on the 2022 impacts, but it's because last year we met with you in December, and there's some classes for Carteens that have not happened yet, which is why this number is a little smaller. But that program is going well. It's always full. The juvenile court supports us well with that. And then our school enrichment programming definitely saw a big increase, especially those with who we were working with. We were able to work with Ravenna City Schools, Holden Elementary, Suffield Elementary, and some of the various libraries around the county, allowing us to reach a good 766. Those numbers are, I compile them all, but I put the extra in there because I know I've definitely missed some. But definitely an increase from last year, and we broke We wanted to break apart this year the school enrichment and the outreach and engagement. You'll kind of see that difference just because all of the programs we did needed to be represented in a separate way. So school enrichment is when we are actively teaching, we are giving, curriculum out and things like that. And then outreach and engagement is us getting our name out there, explaining what we do. And so that this year, we definitely grew. We did a lot more events, and that number increased as well.
So is the 538 in the same number as 750, or is that two separate total numbers?
Where are we at? Okay, so the
Outreach, engagement?
on the 2022 impacts, yeah. So 538, that was the estimated school enrichment when we went in to teach last year, and that fair marketing, yeah, those are different numbers from
Okay.
the 750.
Alright.
Yeah. But then I wanted to give a better break apart this year with an explanation of where we were going.
So one of the big changes moving forward that Jess is getting a lot of calls about is this financial literacy requirement for the schools now that the legislature passed. And so our program, Real Money, Real World, we've finally been able to do that as Jessica has got on board, and we've had a little more staff to do those. We're trying to reach more school districts because they want that program. So that's where you come in. And we'd love to have you help with the simulation day. So Jess goes in and works with the teachers, and it's like a 6-week lesson plan that they go through, and they learn about getting a job and what they're gonna, how transportation, all those kind of things. And then we have a full day where the kids come in and we get volunteers like you to come in, and you have a station, and they come up and say, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they're like, oh, I want this job. And like, okay, here's your salary card, and they go around the
This is
room.
how much money you have to work with for the
And
year.
so they learn at the end of the day how to make that budget work. Because if they are in the negative, they got to start again.
Right. There's 12 different stations. So like there's, your car, and you get your car insurance. You go over. There's a chance table where you roll some dice, and you either maybe you break a bone, you have an extra child that you weren't expecting. It just little catalysts in your
Life.
financial life plan that might change things up a bit. But the requirement is you have to visit every table. And then of course, if they didn't use their salary well, or focus their priorities in different areas, then they get to practice and go back around.
Where's that event take
So
place?
it's an event that can be put on by any school or program. The event is the end goal. So with the event, there's 12 tables, so we usually need 12 volunteers to run that. It can either be community volunteers that we gather and bring with us, or the school can provide them. There's packets for each table with an explanation for those volunteers. So when we do have a next event, and if you guys are available, for sure be one of those volunteers to sit behind that.
So the state treasurer Sprague has endorsed the program as one of the things that they want us to get into the schools with, and help kids learn how to do the basics, like balance your checkbook. I was telling them earlier, I don't know if kids even call it a checkbook anymore. They just call it a
your
bank
bank
account,
account.
right? So trying to help them with those life skills they don't get in school, and that's why the legislature passed this, to help us, to help the whole state kind of raise that up and help kids be better at money management.
Yeah. So we're definitely hoping to expand that program. Okay. And then next is our agriculture and natural resources. Numbers were a little different this year, of course, because we didn't have anybody, but we were still able to get some involvement in the community. We, of course, increased our Master Gardener volunteer program, and you can see the hours and stuff that they've participated in. We participated in something called Ohio Victory Gardens program. We were able to distribute 200 seed packets that were containing carrots, cucumbers, lettuce, and sunflower seeds to schools, the senior centers, and the Portage Metropolitan Housing Authority. So we just have them at our office, and they can be distributed around. And then pesticide, fertilizer application, I'm not sure if there's anything to mention there.
So Angie was able to complete all those before she left at the end of the spring session there. Just the fertilizer stuff is unbelievable, how the impact that that's having across the county. So we're glad that's going to continue and move forward, and hopefully even get even better.
But so you're very, very excited for Seth to start and get back to programming throughout the county. So. Alrighty, next up is our expanded food and nutrition education program. These numbers also increased from last year. Jeannie has been definitely working hard.
So Jeannie's is a 9-week course. They have to go at least 6 weeks to graduate from that course. So for SNAP-Ed and FNEP, those are the two federally funded programs. So those are all federal dollars coming into the county. So there's no commissioner match needed for that or anything. Those positions just happen. So they're out there, you know, beating on doors, trying to get folks to participate, and then giving them incentives to participate. So they're improving their ability to keep their kitchen clean so their family doesn't get sick, improving their ability to cook and not just buy Twinkies and pre-made stuff. So they actually budget and save money that way too. So it's 9 weeks, so it's hard to get folks to graduate. So she's only allowed to report those that graduated. So she probably had double that many, but to get that many people to graduate.
Because she goes into which
For the rehab
facilities?
houses.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know she's at Park House.
Park
Yeah,
House.
Park House.
Couldn't
Yeah,
remember
she has
the
a couple
names.
different rehab houses that she primarily does a lot of her teaching.
So
for.
a lot of times people will be coming in and out during that time. So it's not always ones that they'll stay, but the ones that do stay know that they appreciate the program and what she does there. And the next one after that is our SNAP Ed, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Education Program. These numbers increased from last year. These are specifically what she's been able to do in Portage County. So even though she split Summit and Portage, these numbers are Portage alone, which I'm not sure. Not sure exactly what she's done to grow. I don't know if she's gotten into more spaces.
So it's a minimum of 3 classes that they
Okay.
have to participate for them to be able to count this. So again, there's usually a bigger reach, but they can only tell us what they're able to graduate from those programs.
But she's already making a lot of headway in growing the programs. All right, that's all we have for our impacts for this year. It was a very positive year, a really great year for learning and growth. I just finished, or we're on 1.5 years so far. But it's great to see that the numbers are changing and we are improving in many different ways. The last page that you will see behind everything else is our budget and proposals for this year. Who would like to start with this conversation?
I guess I can. So there's our expenses for 22 and 23, and then for next year, we're trying to expand programming as we talked the past 20 minutes or so, and thinking about 24 is what we need to operate. Is that option number 1, and then we would really like to have a little more of Jill's time, and to be able to do that, that's option number 2, that also includes a couple interns to help us expand those youth programs, especially that Real Money Real World, to really get into classrooms and other organization partnerships across the county to increase financial literacy. So those are our, the biggest increase is the same thing that everybody's dealing with, is increased salaries, and most of that's our hourly positions. The university went 3 years ago now to a $15 hour minimum wage, and now it's hard to get anybody for $15 an hour. So we'll see how that goes, and get a new office associate to replace Ashley very soon. And then most of the other operational expenses haven't increased too much, but a little bit extra in mileage there is the request. For Seth, he's like, how am I gonna get around the whole county? And I'm like, well, pay your mileage, but there's a cost to that. So trying to get him to do all those 100 visits before the end of the year, and then really expand his coverage of the county in the coming year. We wanna make sure, as we showed in that map on those dots, that we're reaching every farm in the county that we can, everybody that has interest in local food insecurity, those things, to make those partnerships happen.
Is there any other comments on there? I mean, it looks like, so your first option would be, your first ask, I should say, is an additional 20,000, and then the second option is an additional 45,000. Is that correct?
Yep.
To the bottom line, because I know in
Where are you-
2022.
Where are you looking?
I'm down here where it says
Okay,
commissioner.
gotcha.
Cause I know in 2022, we increased you 15,000,
Yep.
and then we increased you another 15,000 last year. So, but this year, the request is either 20 or 45, so is that correct, is what I'm reading? Okay, cause we are just now getting ready to start the whole entire budget process, so, we will make sure that we give this over to Jackie in financial management to see, if there's any extra funds to increase it this year or not, so.
We understand.
Yeah.
Everybody's things are increasing, but not necessarily all the tax dollars coming in.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
understand
we've had
those
some
things?
very good years, but it's time now to start pulling back a little bit. We gotta
What's
start.
needed.
So when we look at that, the 15 to 15, what's the end goal for the next 5 years?
is to sustain staff, so we get to this point where we have a program assistant as well.
And this would
I
be
think we'll
key
be
amount of
pretty-
staff that your
Yep.
second option?
Yep, that we can sustain that. If we're at option one and we're not able to get a little bit of increase, we'll cut back on that office associate for less hours, which basically means we have programming, we don't always have somebody to help manage the finances and answer the phone. So we'll look at, what are other options there. So that would be the change if we're not able to get that amount. If we're able to get that, it's gonna be pretty sustainable. I don't see any increases coming from the state. You can see that match that we're getting, and that's the FNEP and the SNAP Ed programs, those kind of things, and all the supplies. Because one of the things they do is that when they teach one of their classes, they actually provide those families with the food. So they cook every night, and then they have to have so many family members to be able to participate, and then they get that bag of groceries to go home and cook that meal.
Yeah.
So again, we don't want them to be buying all this other expensive stuff with their SNAP Ed benefits. We want them to buy things they're cooking and more nutritious for their family.
Yeah.
So we have that match that direction. I'm hoping the economy is slowing down, the inflation, so we don't have these pressures
Me too.
from unemployment.
I know.
It sounds like the Fed sounds like we might be there. We might be at the point where it's gonna turn in the next 6 months, and we know that's not easy on anybody as they put those pressures on with that interest rate being so high. So,
Okay.
versus when I was a kid, right, we got 12% on our savings account. You're
You
lucky.
must be
You're
older than
dating
me.
yourself. I'm like, wow.
I'm saying wow too.
1980? Oh, yeah. That was the challenging days.
Anything else? Mike, anything? Thank you very much.
Of course,
and we'll let
anytime you
know.
guys have
Okay, thank you
questions,
guys.
please reach out.
Okay, great.
We appreciate all you do for the youth and for the adults too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Oh,
Okay.
I'll get in that yoga class.
You're right.
Oh, Lord.
There
It's
are
fun.
restrictions.
Wow, I think they would love to
There-
see you.
All
It's
right.
full.
There should be restrictions.
We'll make sure to
Okay.
have a mat for you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Internal services.
I did Karen first.
Oh, yep, I forgot that little it.
Aw.
It's the first time I get to talk to you guys
Yeah, absolutely.
officially, right?
absolutely, yes.
So,
Right.
do you guys have a copy of the scope?
Yes.
I
Yep,
looked at
yeah, we
it.
have it.
I brought them just in case. All right, so my request today before you guys is to adopt the electronic signature policy for Portage County. What this will allow us to do is protect the county from litigation if something were to happen, so we can sign documents without having physical paper in front of us. It allows ITS to vet any software being used to sign a document. And so with that verification, it allows us to make sure it's secure, make sure it verifies the person is who they say they are, and it goes through a whole security procedure to make sure they are who they are. And it can really protect us against litigation.
So it was, as I was reading through that, it's, because I just heard this morning how they're being able to imitate my voice.
Right.
That's the
Right.
next security thing
Right.
that you go in. And how do we fight against that?
So the biggest thing is looking at the software itself or the application itself is we can go in that application and see how they verify the person is who they say they are, whether it's an IP address, whether it's multi-factor authentication, whether they have to submit their driver's license when they sign up for the account. DocuSign is one that we've already approved through the county before I got here. And it follows all the guidelines and it's a very secure program. So we just go through and look at all the security features that it offers, make sure it falls in line, and it falls in line with, if you look, I believe it's the risk assessment by the county on page 3. It actually goes through all the details of what we're looking at when we look at a software and application. And then they fall into tiers, whether it's low impact or very high impact, and low probability versus high probability. So we're able to inspect the software and determine where it falls at and if the county should be using it or not.
Is this to replace DocuSign?
No, this is just
Is
in
it in
case,
addition to?
so say for instance, somebody gets a document from a vendor and they want you to use Microsoft to sign it. We would have to vet Microsoft to make sure that
Okay.
we could use them to sign it.
Got it.
It's basically us giving them permission to say, yes, you're secure enough to use that, move forward with it.
Great. Very well.
Cause that's more and more, and the factor authentication is like on everything now.
Yes, yeah, I'm trying to push that out towards the county, but that's a slow moving
Yeah, so you
thing,
get a
so.
code and, yeah.
But we're working on that because security is your number one focus
Yeah.
with ITS, in my opinion, so.
Absolutely.
Well, being on the data processing board, Cameron's done a lot of work with this, to make sure that, it all fell in line, and I appreciate that, cause it's a lot of work.
It is. Legal has approved it already. Data processing board has approved it already
Yeah,
also.
that was gonna be my next question. Did legal go over it to make
Yes.
sure? And then,
Sounds good to me. So
Very
that
good,
is gonna
good
be
job.
under you?
Yep.
Gotcha. All right, Kim, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate it.
Good job, Cameron,
Nice
thank you.
job.
Thank you.
Oh, now Shannon's up. Now I'm up. Now Shannon's up.
Good morning,
Good morning, good
how
morning.
are you doing?
Good, how's everybody?
Good.
Project updates,
Good.
not as many as last time, but.
Before you start, can we see if we can get Veterans Affairs up
Thank
here
you.
early?
Absolutely. I'll go check on
Because we're, looks like we're moving a little bit. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay,
I like all this not seeing red.
what's that?
I like this not seeing red.
Because that means I'm gonna talk more if you see
red.
red. So the admin building, so we're having, that building department's putting us for a little bit of a loop, so we did the digging out to see where the water was coming from, dry as a bone. We thought maybe it was a vent pipe on the roof, we capped that off, they just had water yesterday. So our next step is, maintenance is gonna start pulling up tiles to see if they see any cracks in the concrete, any water coming up, cause
Where's the water coming up?
it's right
Just
in the
in the-
lobby, like right when you walk through the doors.
Flower box, isn't it?
It's,
Or-
well, we thought it was
We
the
thought it
flower
was,
box,
yeah.
but
But
it's
it's
not.
not.
So we don't know if there's a pipe running underneath there when they built once upon a time, cause this was an addition well before me,
Mhm.
and they just didn't abandon the pipe, we don't know. So,
Is there any kind of sensor or ultrasound that could look at the floor?
that's what, well, first we wanna see if there's a crack, if there is, then we have to bring in the plumbers and
Mhm.
get the
Cameras,
camera,
they'll do the
and
cameras.
they gotta see where the pipe goes even to know where to put the
Mhm.
camera, so,
No ultrasound.
like an infrared, like kind of thing, yeah, I know.
That was BS, wasn't it? Before Shannon.
Before Shannon, my dad says that all the time.
Yes.
So
I'm
yeah,
just
so so and then so that's that. So we're at a little standstill right there. We're just process of elimination right now. On the next page of the annex building, we got our bids in yesterday, and they came in 5,000 under. So that is a good the apparent low. But I'm waiting for the award letter.
Still a lot of money.
I know it is, but it at least came in under for the HVAC in the basement.
Good.
On the next page for the EMA, it continues on the next page. The steel work has work to begin on the new section of the building, and they're working on the garage portion to patch the walls and the ceilings in the old section right now.
They're like going gangbusters
Oh my
on
gosh,
that.
it looks like it now. I know you said knock on wood, but because once they get it up, then you're like, oh, we're ready to go, and then they have so much to do inside. But it's going up fast. I think it is too.
No, I will see it like every other day.
Yeah. Ravenna Courthouse. If you go to probably the 3 more pages in, the elevator. I said last week it has started and it's expected to be completed by the week of December 18th. And then they'll start on the jail elevator.
No.
Okay, and carpet, Magistrate Smith's area is complete, and Judge Doherty is the week of the 23rd because we had the chairs, she wanted new chairs, so we were trying to coordinate all that. So, and then we're done with the carpeting for now at the courthouse, so, well, that's all I have.
Nice.
Yeah. They've got quite a few new carpet and stuff.
And they're totally done with prosecutors?
No, that'll be done at the end of November with the scaffolding that they had to add. I just have quite a few resolutions.
Yeah, thanks, Shannon.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Shannon.
There's only 12.
I've had worse, right?
Yeah.
Speak for yourself. All right. The Board of Commissioners accepts bids and awards contracts for project number SH-2 23-010 Bolingbrook Wastewater Treatment Plant Sludge Tank Replacement in the Portage County Regional Sewer District, Shalersville Township.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners accepts bids and award contracts for project number MB 23-130 Manaway Wastewater Treatment Plant Clarifier covers in the Portage County Regional Sewer District, Manaway Township, Ohio.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners agrees to enter into an agreement with DLZ for the preparation of plans, specs, and estimate of cost for project PC-W 23-070 water storage improvements, Rootstown, Portage County W 23-080 water storage improvements, Shalersville, and MD -0 23-090 water storage improvements for Manaway for the Portage County Water Resources Department.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Board of Commissioners approves the public the public announcements of available contract for professional design services for the project known as Newton Falls Road Bridge number 131 replacement, PAR 131, County Highway 177.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Okay. The Board of Commissioners approves the specifications and sets the bid date for the construction of the Marks Radio facilities for the Board of Commissioners on behalf of the Emergency Management Agency.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners approves the specifications and sets the bid date for the collapse search and rescue equipment for the Board of Commissioners on behalf of the Emergency Management Agency.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners agrees to adopt the County of Portage procurement policy.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners agrees to execute the 2024-2025 Memorandum of Understanding by and between Public Children's Services Association of Ohio, a nonprofit corporation organized under the laws of the state of Ohio, and Portage County Jobs and Family Services.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners agrees to award and enter into a contract with Carvo Companies, Inc. for the CDBG BF-22-1CJ-1 Volunteer Park Paving Project, Ravenna.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners approves the specifications and set date for the Freedom Township School ADA project, Freedom Township, Ohio.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners agrees to award and enter into a contract with Hummel Construction Company for the CDBG BF-22-1CJ-1 Village of Manaway 10600 block sidewalk ADA project.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners adopts the Portage County Data Processing Board electronic signature policy.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Thanks,
Thank you,
all.
Shannon.
Thank you. Thank you, Shannon.
Jackie, you're up. Good morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you this morning?
Good. I just have one comment on my agenda. The first journal entry is the follow-up to the discussion last week about the $10,000 support for the Small Business Development Center.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the action.
Okay. The Board of Commissioners authorizes President Anthony J. Badalamenti to sign the fiscal year 2024 cash match to support Ohio Small Businesses Development Center at Summit Medina Business Alliance in the amount of $10,000. Document reviewed by Department of Budget and Financial Management with no exceptions noted.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners authorized Commissioner Anthony J. Badalamenti, President of the Board, to sign the 8th quarter cash reimbursement request in the amount of $91,076.51 for the EMPG fiscal year 22 8th quarter grant, as prepared by the Portage County Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Management and reviewed by the Department of Budget and Financial Management with no exceptions noted. Copies of this request will be kept on file at the Homeland Security and Emergency Management Office.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners hereby approve a loan of $12,820 in CDBG revolving loan funds for the Manaway ADA Accessibility Project for sidewalk improvements as requested by the Regional Planning Commission and reviewed by the Department of Budget and Financial Management. This will be a 0% due on sale loan.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes?
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Okay, in accordance with section 305-30K of the Ohio Revised Code in this board's resolution 21-0396 and this board's resolution 210878, the Board of Commissioners acknowledges and approves the county administrator's approval too. I'll make a motion to direct the auditor's office to pay process the October 12th, 2023 bills, ACH payments, wires, journal vouchers, and then and nows as applicable, contingent upon the verification of the reports as presented by the county auditor and reviewed by the Department of Budget and Financial Management.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes,
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to process the October 12th, 2023 budget amendments as reviewed and recommended by the Department of Budget and Financial Management.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina? Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to transfer from Fund 1501 American Rescue Plan to Fund 5200 Portage County Sewer General Administration.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes. Thank you, Jackie.
Thanks, Jackie.
Good morning, Tammy.
Hello, how you guys doing?
Good.
We'll just start with the benefits presentation first. So I'll
Okay.
let Susan and
Good.
Angela kind of fill you in from the over.
Good morning.
Hello, hello.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
So we're back.
Uh-huh. There's a movie called that. This one's kind of scary, Wendell. Sorry.
Hopefully this will be.
Wow.
That was
I feel like he's
funny.
setting us up.
I'm prepared.
What is wrong?
You guys should have laughed.
Okay.
That's as scary as Mike in a yoga class.
Ooh.
I thought it was funny. So today was, I propose that we go ahead, so on page 5 of this booklet, which a lot of it is the same as last time, we have added some. But on page 5, you can see this was the same page that was in last week's book.
Mhm.
And then on page 6 are some additional plan changes that we had Angela go back and do her thing that she does to get us some prices and some better ways to look at the plan to roll that out for the employees, because we know the cost of increase is gonna be high. So these are some of the additional ones, and I'll let Angela talk about those.
Yeah, so there's 3 additional options that we have here, as Susan said. What we did was we kind of combined some of the other plan options from last time that we talked about on the previous slide. So if we look at, a new one is this deductible 0, you see.
Where you
So, slide 6.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Yep. So obviously the very left-hand column, Portage County, that is your current plan. So the 3 different options that we took a look at was taking the deductible to 0, so dropping it. That kind of gives first dollar coverage, meaning if somebody goes to the doctor and it's something for that's related to a co-insurance, whether it's blood work or an outpatient surgery or inpatient surgery, there's no first $500 up front and then the co-insurance kicks in. The co-insurance just kicks in right
So
away.
what we have previously done, every employee who's covered, or every covered member had that $500 deductible.
Mhm.
So you go at the beginning of the year to see your specialist or somebody that you see on a yearly basis, or maybe you have your yearly blood work. The employee was responsible for that at 100% until they paid their $500. So I thought it was gonna be beneficial to the employee and their family members to remove that deductible. That way, even though their premium's gonna go up a little, it will encourage them to actually go to the doctor and maintain their health in a different perspective. That way they don't have to worry about paying $250 for their blood work or buying groceries that week, for instance. it will encourage people to maybe do a better job in maintaining their overall health. So that was why we just wanted to look at it, see how that would come about. And then, as we talked last week too, about increasing the co-insurance and the max out-of-pocket, because that really only impacts people who utilize the plan a lot, people who have, you know, serious illnesses that they have to maintain, or, you know, they have
The high
the
utilizers.
high utilizers. It will impact them the most, and the majority of people who just use it to maintain their health will not feel the impact as much. So that was one of the reasons why we went with that plan.
Yeah, so it increases the out-of-pocket maximum, and it takes the co-insurance from 90% to 80%. So the plan would pick up 80%, the member would pay 20%.
And again, one of the reasons that we wanted to do that anyway, go from the 90 to 10 to the 80-20, because nationally, that is really the plan. Ours had been on that high end for a long time, so we really needed to do that by removing that deductible, and this particular option kind of eases that into to employees so that they don't feel that impact quite as much.
Oh, I have a question.
Sure.
Down at the bottom,
Mhm.
depending on which plan you're proposing and we select from, the negative means the savings, correct?
That's the savings.
Correct.
So, okay.
Off of the projected claims for 2024.
Which was 15.3%, so that keeps the claims from being so high, or the projected
It brings
claims.
it down a little, yeah. And I've got a summary slide for you that I kind of put it all on one page where you can see the impact for
Yeah.
We
everything.
can go ahead and talk about the other two plans
Yep.
too, which was increasing, actually, it's more of an impact, I'll let Angie.
Yeah, the next two columns, there's a much bigger impact to the budget. We took the deductible to increasing the deductible before we dropped it in the last plan, taking it up to $750 per person. It's $1,500 max per family. Took up that out-of-pocket co-insurance limit, or that out-of-pocket maximum, to $3,000, $5,000. You're currently at $2,000, $4,000. Then still taking that co-insurance to 80%. So still combining three different changes into one. You can see by upping the deductible a little bit, the impact that it has there at the bottom. So you look, it's actually about a 2.6% decrement off of the projected claims for 2024,
And this
or about
does-
$456,000.
And this does save a little more on the budget, but it is a bigger impact to the employee and their family members
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, and then the very last column, we left the deductible the same, so it's current as it is today. We just took up that out-of-pocket maximum slightly, and then we also changed the co-insurance to that 80%. And you can see there's still a decent impact there of about $300,000 off the budget. But to kind of maybe help look at it from a different perspective, if you look at slide 7, it kind of rolls all of these different plan options into one place for you. So I listed the plan options in the first column there. Kind of had to abbreviate just a little bit just to make room for everything. You can see where the budget then would sit for 2024, and that increase to your current budget, and then like the dollar amount difference. So, I mean, you can see with all of the changes that we're, showing here, it's still gonna be a little over $2 million to the budget, more than current. You can see the current budget, I kind of listed up in the right-hand corner there. So this is kind of summarizes everything for you, so you can see it all in one page.
And then on the next pages, we have the modeling pages that actually shows the amount that would be withheld from the employee's check, and the amount per pay that Portage County will pay towards that for 100%. So if there's
No
if
plan
you know right
changes.
off which plan that you are leaning towards, we could just look at those pages, because there is a page for all of them, obviously, so that we can see.
Well,
But
Susan,
if you
what
wanna
do
look
you-
at the.
What do you feel would you think be best for everyone,
For everyone,
our
if the
employee
budget
pool?
can withstand it, I feel that on page 11, the modeling that we show with the zero deductible, the 80% co-insurance, and raising that maximum out of pocket for the employee and their family, I feel like this would be the least impact for them. And it will actually help some employees. I think a lot of the employees not having that first $500. If you look at it, it could be between $500 and $1,000 per family savings right off the bat. So their premiums are gonna increase a little, which is usually where you get a lot of noise there. Obviously, everybody should be expecting something
Yeah,
because of
yeah.
inflation in general. So their premiums go up, you know, I'll usually hear, well, yeah, I got a little bit of a raise this year, but my premiums, my health insurance went up, so, you know, it was kind of
It's
a
a
wash.
wash.
But this way, even though the premiums are going up a little, it is gonna save every individual on our plan up to $500 or $1,000 per family. So that is some ease there financially, and then it also helps us to introduce the 20% versus the 1090, which has needed to be done for several years.
And the increased out of
And
pocket.
increased out of
So
pocket,
those high
which is also
utilizers
needed
are
to
gonna
be
pay a little
done.
bit more,
Yes, because
but that upfront cost, like
correct,
Susan
yes.
said, is.
But for people that just go for general
They
maintenance.
use it for
and-
general maintenance, it'll actually benefit them, and then the people who are high users of the plan will need to pay and be responsible for a little bit more, as it should be.
Yeah.
So,
And your
to me,
co-pays are still in place from day
The
one?
co-pays are
So your
still there.
office visit co-pays,
Right.
things like that are still from day
you
one?
go for that sore throat, it's only gonna cost you $10. If they wanna do that strep test, then you're only gonna pay a small percentage of that versus the entire amount until your deductible's met. So to me, I feel like that, on page 11, this modeling that we took a look at is probably the best for everybody.
But what about, see, I was thinking the third one would be the best option, cause they're used to paying an annual deduction.
Is that the?
And yeah,
Mhm.
and you increase the co-insurance, which we need to do, and then it changes the co-insurance, but it saves us like almost 300,000, and that's just by simply, removing, or keeping the deductibles in there, and still increasing the out-of-pocket, but not as much as
Correct.
over here.
The only difference between this one, to me, in my opinion, and that one on page 11, is on page 11, it does encourage more of a health maintenance and wellness type, that encourages people to go and get that initial checkup done and those things that they need to maybe maintain because they don't have that $500 deductible. And we can also, you know, if this doesn't work for us or we don't see that the impact has helped, we can always reintroduce the deductible next year. Maybe start off lower like we used to have.
You know, on that line, and the conversation says, if I'm gonna upkeep my health, if I'm healthy, and we have those that are under 30 or 35,
Right.
most of them don't do that anyway.
Mhm.
They're not gonna go to the doctor to keep my health up. I'm healthy, and I exercise, I eat kinda
Well, and
well.
it's not even recommended for them to have, you know,
blood work and all kinds of
colorectal
stuff. Right,
screens
right.
and
Yeah,
blood
that,
work
yeah,
and
that's
those
way
types
out
of
of control, some of that stuff. But I still, I have a little bit of a problem, basically same that Sabrina's having, that I don't know too, and I work with a lot of business people, and there aren't very many businesses that have a zero.
Very
She
few.
says, yeah.
Yeah,
There's very
That,
few.
Very
that
few.
is.
You find it in the tech industries or in public industry. I mean, in public, you know, entities. I think those are really gonna be the two industries where you see it. It's not normal,
No.
and it's not normal to go backwards in
Yeah.
a deductible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Increasing the out-of-pocket and the co-insurance kind of help offset that, lowering that deductible, and that gives us a lever to pull a year or two from now should we need to introduce that deductible back in. It just depends
Well,
on.
see, that's my problem. They're used to having a deductible, and so to completely remove it, and like Tony said, the people that are probably subject to this, they never probably end up paying that anyways, because it's our younger folks. But to completely remove it and then all of a sudden have to reintroduce it, and then the reality is, we're constantly gonna have to tweak. The only things we can really tweak, you know, are within these main three lines that probably have the hugest impact, or the co-insurance maximum, or increase like the RX stuff. But in my mind, of the three, I think column 3 would make sense, because it's still keeping that annual deductible in there, but yet it's keeping the maximum out of pocket, it's increasing it, but it's not blowing it
So-
up.
It's not egregious.
So if you
No.
look on page 13, it is increasing. It's increasing the premium, it's increasing the co-insurance, it's increasing the maximum out of pocket.
But how much?
On 11, it is still increasing your co-insurance and your maximum out of pocket, but it is giving some back by reducing the deductible. Because your premium is still increasing there. So your premium's increasing, your co-insurance, your maximum out of pocket. The same three things are still increasing, but you are giving some back by reducing that deductible, so.
If we go on that logic thought process, that those who don't use it do better. The way, in those who have to use it, because they do have significant health issues, that if we go with column 3, we're actually giving both sides a little bit of a break.
That's the way I feel.
I mean, it's.
It's not a bad plan. Yeah, no,
it-
it's a great option
I
to
mean,
have.
that's what I'm thinking. It's just like, I understand that. We all are used to paying that copay, and once it gets to maximum, but we're looking at it, I'm looking at it as, you know, if I'm using it a lot, that 4,000, 8,000 is really getting me. And if we go to 2.4, it's not getting me as hard, but we're kind of,
Yeah.
we're spreading
spreading it over.
we're
Yeah.
unfortunately, and it is all in private business is spreading it across the burden of insurance
Pool, the whole
on
pool.
on everybody a little bit. So that's I will, my thought process goes with column 3 as well.
I
Mr.
think
Commissioner?
we're knocking the door on insurance poor myself, but, I
See,
think
that
that's
it's costing
whole
us a lot?
lot.
Yeah, it is, and that's what every business has it, and I've had debates and talks about private versus governmental, but I think it needs to be spread across a little
Yeah.
bit, and
Right.
I'm used to paying a $250 or $500 deductible, and the folks that we're talking about are gonna benefit from, those are the ones that really don't do that. I don't know any 30-year-olds
never meet
that go
anyone.
go to
Well,
the
I don't-
doctor
I
just
don't-
for
I
funds.
think our age, does anybody know?
I can tell you that there is an age group
That's what I
that
was gonna
uses
say,
a
What
way
age group
different
is
age
that?
group that uses
Yeah,
the
what
the
age
I think
physical,
the
physical,
age
that
group
uses
of
the
Portage
blood work
County is
Yeah.
a little
and
bit
the whatever,
older than the
that
30.
do not, that are not
Yeah.
going to use this co-insurance. So seemingly, we're going to raise the deductible.
Well,
Right.
if you go with column 3, and are we
Column 3
talking
stays
about?
the same. The
The
deductible
deductible
stays
stays
the
at
same.
Oh, where the deductible stays
No.
the same.
Yeah, it's
So
the
if we do
You're
that
talking
one, then.
column 3 on
Page
slide
6.
6.
On slide 6,
Yep.
you go from
So the deductible
the pretty
stays.
pink to the purple
Right.
on the other side.
The 1.7% savings, so your deductible stays the same, you're raising the maximum out of pocket, you're raising the co-insurance, and you're raising the
500 to
premium.
Right, and that's right in the middle of what we're raising. So you're going from 2,000, 4,000 to 3,000, 5,000. So one's staying the same, and we're spreading it over
Well, but
everybody.
your premiums are also.
Currently, we're
So
paying
you're
500 for
increasing,
deductible, right? We're going to
they're
750?
paying 2 different ways
We're going
in their
to the
premium.
third
Yeah.
They're paying 3 ways.
And our employees aren't getting any
We're
younger.
keeping the deductible in there.
No, well, I think most
Yeah.
of our
Oh, yeah.
employees are not younger.
Because
So, you know,
Why'd you look at me
I
when you
understand
said
what you're
that?
saying about your 30-year-olds not gonna go ahead and done.
Right, right.
But the majority of people are not 30 and
Why are you
they
looking at
are.
me when you're saying that?
No,
She said yours times 2. That goes to yoga again.
you look 30, most of us
Oh,
look
thank
30.
you.
But, you know,
Susan, I expect you to
And
tell
why
the
are
truth.
you laughing?
I'm enjoying the banter, that's
Does
all.
he get a decrease in his premium if he goes to yoga class?
Yeah, I'm gonna
yeah,
go.
it's reimbursed.
I'm
It's
going.
reimbursed for each other.
Well, thank you.
I'd love to see that.
I think they're,
I
Up
think we
dog,
should have
down
yoga at work.
dog, whatever
There you
that's
go.
called.
Yeah,
no.
that's right.
I need
Okay,
spandex.
so,
I like yoga.
so what I'm
Again.
saying is that you all are interested in the column 3.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, yes, ma'am.
Co-insurance, so leave the deductible as it is, we're
Mhm.
gonna
Yes.
increase the co-insurance and the maximum out of pocket.
Because even
Yes.
though, Susan, you said that it increases, it doesn't look like it increases that much.
Well,
From
it's
when-
gonna be 14, what percent, 14.82%, no,
Nope, this
No,
one's
this
13.61.
one's Yeah, so it's even less by going to
Yeah,
a
it's
third.
it is a small amount.
That's
Yeah,
why we're
the
getting a
increasing
much
that
more-
co-insurance has a pretty big impact on it.
Yeah. So.
Okay, let's look at the modeling page. What page is that?
What modeling page are you on?
Page what?
It'll be
11 or
13.
13?
Page 13.
For that option,
So that we
keeping the
can,
deductible at 500, increasing the out-of-pocket, and going to the 80% co-insurance.
So we can give an approval
It's
on the
slide
rates.
13, yeah.
So which page is it again? I'm sorry.
13.
13
Okay,
is
I'm at
the
13.
contribution modeling, yep.
Okay, I'm there. So what are we looking at?
Page 13, this
Page
is where I
13.
would like an approval on the rates that will be increased.
Okay.
So, it will be the rates on page 13, which will increase, you can see the current rates, and then, on B will be the new rates for the
Yeah.
employees, which will be
Yeah.
increasing.
And you can see the 13.1% increase on line C down at the bottom,
Yeah.
the difference, just to tie it back.
Well, we had pretty much the same amount. We had almost 15 last year.
Right.
So,
Correct.
and we've had years where we've had none.
And we've had,
And so we've-
several years where we've not had any changes.
And we've increased stopgap. I mean, things we needed to
We
do,
have, sure.
but this is just a sign of the time.
Right.
So,
Okay, so, can we get an approval on those, and then Tammy will bring you back a resolution for that?
Yes. And I'm
Yes,
looking,
ma'am.
I'm going back to the original zero deductible. That's a 14.82.
It is, yeah, it
And
is
this
more
is
expensive.
a 13,
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
so-
it is more expensive to do the other, I was just looking at
Yep.
ways to ease.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because you're gonna be the one to get all these.
I'll be the one.
You still did a
yes.
great plan, Susan.
Yes.
You still
You
great
did a great job, and
You have a
I
great-
I
You'll
be the
really
one to get
appreciate it.
all these
We still
calls.
have a great plan.
If
It's
I
still
feel
a
like I'm
great plan
harassing you,
for-
I am.
For the employees.
You want these back?
he's so
Do these we have to give back?
Yes,
You need
please.
these, Cinderella?
Thank you
I
very
don't
much.
know why you give it and then take it back.
She's like
Great
that.
job.
Thank
Man,
you.
I did write on mine.
So did I.
That's it.
Okay, so, what do you need?
Resolution?
You can keep that until you're done, yeah. We just need a formal approval so that I can move forward.
Approve, and we'll get the resolution. Are you gonna do that now?
She's gonna do the resolution.
Right now?
I can
So
bring
we have
it
to
forward
put all of it.
next
Okay,
week,
yep.
'cause I
They
didn't
can
put
bring
all
it
the
next
final
week.
plan.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Bring it next week.
Thanks for
Thank
coming
you,
in.
ladies. Thanks.
Good to
Thanks.
see you
Thanks for your
guys.
time.
Bye.
We like donuts, just so you know.
That's against the health plan.
Yeah. Croissants.
Okay.
Good morning.
Hello, how are you guys?
I'm good.
All right, so just some talking points. In the past, the county has provided a flu vaccine clinic available to employees that come on site here. So we do have that date. It is set for November 6th. It will happen in room 134 from 10 to noon. There's no cost to the employees if they want to get the vaccination on it.
We don't mandate vaccinations, do
Nope,
we?
you do
Okay.
not.
No.
Nope, it is
Just-
all strictly voluntarily.
Yep.
So we
It's
still.
just a nice
there-
benefit that we offer that if they want.
Correct. We still don't know whether or not, the COVID shot will be available. None of the health departments in the area actually have COVID vaccines right now, so, but if they do get it, I'm sure they'll bring it, and if someone wants it, then they can have that, but the main focus, of course, is the flu shots, so, and the, pneumonia shot and things in that sense. So, if somebody can't go to the day that we have, since, it's kind of coming up out of nowhere, cause the health district has been short-staffed,
Mhm.
so, they will be able to, call the health district and schedule an appointment at the health district. They offer those on Wednesdays. And there's designated times, but you have to have an appointment to go there. So they aren't doing any other pop-up clinics. I called this morning to see, and they're not because, again, of the short staff of what they're dealing with over there.
One of the statistics I would love to see is that we have people voluntarily go to that. How many days of work we miss within a week of getting vaccinations?
That's a great question. I can probably look at that and
Yep.
see if I can
That,
come
that,
up with
that'd
that.
be something I'd be very interested in.
Okay.
So people usually miss 1 or 2 days
Yeah.
because they have the flu. I'd like to see if, once we give the vaccination,
That-
how many
what
days,
is
do we
the
lose
outcome?
1 or 2 days
Correct.
because of that?
Yeah, I do know last year, because I pulled our invoice,
Mhm.
we only had 116 people that took this option.
Really?
Yes.
Out of the 1,200, 1,100,
Nine-
sorry?
nine- yeah,
900,
nine-
900?
1,000.
Yeah,
1,000,
1,000
okay.
people, yep.
Alright.
I have a question.
Sure.
What is the difference between Prevnar 13 and Prevnar 20? Because they're both ages 65
Pneumonia
years
shot.
and Yeah, what's the difference between 13 and 20?
You know, I'm really not sure. I don't know if it's a strength or not. I
I
don't
think
know.
it's- I think it's in addition
to
to.
answer that.
Yeah.
So the Prevnar, the 13, and then the Prevnar 20 adds the pneumonia shot to it.
Oh, is that, okay. I was just
Thank
curious.
you.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you, doctor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you very much.
We're not paying it to Doug.
Correct.
So yeah, so that's kind of what that talking point
Okay.
is. Just wanted to let everyone know, and be able to start advertising that to the employees since
How do we advertise that?
I'm
Just online?
gonna,
Send out
we'll
a-
probably send out a notice. We'll probably do a little flyer that I'll send out to all the, elected officials, department
Mhm.
heads and things like that, so then it can be posted. And then I always do most of the time, at least once a month, I do a Friday fun fact from the HR department that goes out
Okay.
as well, so I'll probably have it there as well.
Alright, cool.
So. And that's all it for my talking points. Everything else is pretty standard.
So there's no cost to the employees, but you list the charges here, cause that's what's paid out of the benefit
Correct,
funds for
so
each
what
other.
will
Okay.
happen is that these are the costs that they're quoting now.
Okay.
And we have that money, we've always set it aside in our, benefits fund. And then usually after everything happens, they invoice us, and then we just pay out of that fund, since we kinda been doing it, it seems to be historically, so.
Okay.
So, and last year it cost us about a little over 6,000 just for that cost, just if anyone wanted to know.
Okay.
Okay.
Sabrina, you're up.
Okay. The Board of Commissioners authorizes the funds to be used to provide a flu vaccine clinic hosted by the Portage County Health District to all Portage County employees.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
In accordance with section 305.30 of the Ohio Revised Code and this board's resolution 21-0396, Part 9I, the Board of Commissioners acknowledges and approves the county administrator's approvals too. I'll make a motion to authorize to hire Jason Carselli to Superintendent Wastewater Treatment Plant, Portage County Water Resource, to be effective as of Monday, October 16th, 2023. The Board of Commissioners agrees that this hire is contingent upon the applicant passing the required pre-employment screening.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to authorize the promotion of Harry Carpenter, Treatment Plant Operator 1 to Engineering Technician 3, Portage County Water Resources, to be effective as of Monday, October 30th, 2023.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to authorize the transfer of Don Van Meter, interim wastewater superintendent, back to asset supervisor due to the position has now been filled with a new hire for the Portage County Water Resources, to be effective as of Monday, October 16th, 2023.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve anniversary/probationary step increase for the following non-bargaining employees: Jessica Thompson, BOC; Wendy Nauer, JFS; Keena Johnson, JFS; Lionel Hudak, JFS; John Bodilla, JFS; Tammy Hickman, JFS; Jessica Plymall, JFS.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Okay, in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code 121.22G1, the Board of Commissioners moves into executive session to consider the employment of a public employee.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
We're live.
All right, I'll make a motion to come out of executive session.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Any action?
Yes.
Yes. I'll make a motion, the Board of Commissioners agrees to approve leave without pay for Jackie Sadler at Water Resource Department from October 23rd, 2023 through November 6th, 2023.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
All right,
you.
thank you.
Have an enjoyable day.
Thank you.
Sure.
You wanna have Commissioner Tunlin go? He's on the schedule.
I can't.
You can?
I have a backup.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, Ryan's coming in.
No.
We did, try, we did try calling everybody else, and they're all supposed to move ahead. We're waiting on, JFS. What about miscellaneous? Did you guys?
We did that
did
already.
that.
We already did
Were you
miscellaneous.
slacking?
You guys are on it.
Okay, so
Let's
who's
take
on
a
next one?
10-minute recess till 10:30.
Well, let me
Might
just go
give
see
them-
where Kelly Jo is.
Yep.
Hang on a second.
She should be.
Give me a second,
Directions?
cause she should
Let's
be
still
meeting out
say
there
that's recess.
potentially. I'm not,
Yeah, okay.
unless you wanna take.
We're gonna
We're gonna
recess.
recess for 10 minutes.
Recess till 10:30.
reconvene.
Morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Okay.
So I have a few items on the open agenda today. The first is our third quarter customer service results for your review. A little bit less respondents than the last two. We were in the 90s, so we had 44 respondents. The numeric scale, or the numeric grades that we received from the public, were 8s, 9s, and 10s, but there were a few comments that I'm sure you have questions about that I came prepared to discuss. In the public assistance arena, well, let me just say this: anytime in a customer service survey that an individual lists their name and phone number and asks to be contacted, the administrators do that right away. And so there were 3 instances in here, and of course we didn't put their names and numbers, where administrators did respond to your constituents and address some of their concerns. In general terms, we have a thematic issue with our phone lines in the public assistance area, having longer waits than we would want people to have to wait. And that has everything to do with the Medicaid unwinding and the volume of work. We're still hiring additional eligibility specialists for that position. We have 1 starting and 1 didn't manifest for us. They took another job. So it's not for us not trying to put more people on the phones, but the volume is exactly what it stated. So it's not excusable, it's just the reality that we have some long wait times.
So if I'm waiting 10 minutes and I get tired of waiting, is there an option for me to say, hey, would you call me back?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I
that-
just have to press a button, say,
Mhm.
call me back, and then I move to the head of the line whenever
Correct.
the next person. Okay.
And calls will be returned in the order they're received. then?
Yeah, yes,
So,
and the
yeah,
state,
yeah.
the automation, the system is built through the state of Ohio, so
Yeah.
all counties have that same option.
Okay.
Some people do opt to stay on, but yes, they do. They did not used to have that, so thank goodness we're stepping up with the times, but it's still, again, not ideal to have people wait. But I did wanna address that with you. Again, there was a comment about somebody talking to a client, like, and they used the word aggressive and crazy. That's not acceptable, but in those spaces, we address those matters as they come up. So I just wanted you to be aware of that, but
What
want
was the
to
third one?
could have been from a professional in the child protective realm on, it says, please have caseworker, the manager promptly return, reply, or acknowledge receipt of communication from CASA as well as foster parents. So my guess is that was a CASA worker
Okay.
or a foster parent, and so in that space, we have to do better. And then a few suggestions, more one-on-one time with clients that come into the Ohio Means Job Center. And again, that would be, based on availability of staff, but it's always our intention to help people when needed. So this keeps us honest and keeps us on target with what we need to do to improve services.
Okay, great.
Okay,
Thank you.
questions on that?
Oh,
Okay.
ma'am.
I just wanted to tell you, we had our second, community transportation meeting at Reed earlier this week, and Representative Pavliga once again facilitated that. The part that Job and Family Services played from Solution Focused in that space is that we have coordinated 2 job fairs, one on November 30th and one on December 11th, both specifically for the purpose of recruiting drivers for companies. So PARTA did sign up a couple other businesses to be the employers on site there. PARTA, as listed in the first form, they're down 50 drivers, so.
50?
Yeah.
50. So we, our intention is to try to help, find employees for them, and so at least it's a
I
start.
asked them about that, and they said it was due to COVID, and none of the kids, they're really down student drivers. They used to have student drivers at Kent State, and they
Didn't
said,
return.
are way down, yeah, didn't return.
Yeah. So we are gonna have a third forum after the first of the year, but we wanna kinda test to see how we do in this space, but, at least we have lots of people around the table.
What school do we have for CDL training? I know like Jaga and Ashtabula had or maybe it was just Jaga, that always has the truck driver training for CDL. Do we
We
have
provide training account dollars, so individuals
Okay.
can really pick
Go
where they
where-
wanna go. So we what we fund, individual training accounts for CDLs too, and Ohio Means Jobs. PARTA does for their staff too, So if we can bring people to the table and help to recruit for them, I believe they fund their own, help to pay their own CDLs.
Do that again. We have through Jobs Ohio, we have a program,
Funding.
the funding to get
Mhm.
CDL.
Mhm.
What are some of the requirements? I mean,
As far as an individual to
an
apply?
individual,
Do you
do you have
know?
any idea?
They would have to be eligible for the
License.
Yeah,
Or-
yeah,
Drug-free.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
drug-free and,
Yeah.
and that happy stuff.
But I don't know
But,
any other.
I mean,
don't
is
know
it
the
low income, or does
No.
it matter, or just, hey, we need CDLs?
They would have to qualify to work through Ohio Means Jobs,
Yep.
but in that space, there's not really an income threshold. It's more need-based for the individual training
Yeah, and
accounts.
then
Need,
it's
and you
in
qualify
a-
by, because you're not doing
yeah.
drugs or.
And a lot of
Absolutely.
the companies are providing it themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a specific company, or they have it in-house that.
And it
can
has
do
to
the
be
training.
a high demand,
Job.
job.
I
Yeah.
just find it hard to believe that Kent State ran their own bus service and they had people that worked, and where are they? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either.
We still need to, in the first meeting, if you remember, just because, we need to have public transit throughout the county.
Yeah.
They did voice part of that.
That's hard.
The reason they can't expand is because they have a driver shortage. So if we can help them
Mhm.
with the driver
Yeah.
shortage, then we can help all the residents that, in the other areas.
It's a big county,
Mm-hmm.
it's 100 miles.
That's why they're making all the money on DoorDash.
Yeah, that is.
So that was that. I just wanted to let you know that's the part that we want to play in helping the county is to have those job fairs. And then we did apply for the Healthy Aging Grant.
Yes.
It did not require us to give detail in the grant application on what we're going to do, which was good and great. It did ask us that if the county gets the grant, we have 7 days to, what was the verbiage that they used, Sue and I? We have to build a budget and identify the needs and
I
all.
don't even know if that's that. It's like one page and it doesn't
No,
really
it-
say a
it's
whole
very
lot
I,
on
I
it.
am on a committee for that, and it's very like,
Simple.
yeah, almost too simple, cause it's
that-
coming. But, cause my question was, we've already had, I've already had 2 senior centers reach out to me. Streetsboro, and then she said Aurora, well, she never reached out to me, but through Streetsboro, that want to see about applying for programming funds, which they would be eligible for under that. So, cause I had asked Michelle to see what kind of application or how do outside folks apply to utilize these funds.
We're happy to do it through Job and Family Services. We took the concept to the new Portage Senior Support Meeting this past week. We
Yeah.
renamed it Portage Adult Plus 50 Group because people didn't want to say seniors. So it's now
50 is seniors?
Adult Plus 50. Yeah,
What about 60?
yeah, plus 50.
Still senior.
Judge Smith recommended the name, so we took it.
I'll have a talk with her.
Yeah, so, but we're the plus 50 group now, but lots of ideas came from this if we get awarded. Senior centers, absolutely, because there's a health and wellness component. So we could offer funds to all the senior centers if they wanted to incorporate health and wellness activities. We talked about emergency packets or kits for adult protective clients. You have to offer food, transportation, and housing assistance. So we're gonna bring Community Action Council and Family and Community to the table, once we know we get the grant, of course, to see if we could do like we did with the ARPA funds under COVID.
Yeah.
So split that work as far as emergency housing and food assistance. Transportation, Hope on Wheels offered to be a pilot company where if we get some funds, we can earmark some dollars and they would transport seniors. Our adult day services through Coleman identified they're getting referrals for elderly to go to senior services, but they can't get there because they have no transportation. So Ted offered to pilot it, and it's not gonna be over 50,000, and I think, that would be a great idea to try to get some transportation to the seniors. So we're gonna try to address all of the facets, but I'll bring to you like the full vision.
Yeah.
Once we know we get it, and then you'll know all the parties, but, Direction Home Care also wants to be a part of it, so we made it a collaborative, let's build bridges and let's bring ideas.
We just don't want it to go all to one place,
Right.
or like they said, you know, some of the agencies have nothing, a grant writer that just sits around and looks for this.
Yeah.
They're smaller, but yet they serve the same people.
Yeah.
And so they just want a chance to apply for those funds, so.
Well, if you're good with it, then again, if we're granted the grant, then this group, which there's like 15 agencies, would like to draft this is where we wanna move forward, and then we could present it to you in totality.
Sounds a good idea.
Yeah, my only concern is that we're able to get something and get it up and running, and the people are kind of relying on it, and then it goes away.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that bothers me about providing, and we just gotta stay on top of it.
Yeah, and look for
Yeah.
sustainable funds, not at the end of it, but during the
Sure.
process.
And that's why it's restricted. I have a cheat sheet that shows of the areas that they want focused on, and none of it is for staffing. It's like for programming and services, so.
Yeah. So I just wanted to update you, that's where we're at.
Good.
Then we're gonna pivot, if we're okay, to the resolutions.
Yes, ma'am.
Why don't I oh, there it is. So I have one and Sue has two. We are up for 2 renewal levies in the space of Child Protective Services in 2024. The 2 that are up is a .75 and a .49, both originated in 1995. I present to you my request of necessity to merge these two. So .75, .49 would be 1.24, so it would remain 1.24, but combining them. But in consult with the prosecutors, we have to call it an increase as well, because my understanding with the valuations that are different, it has to be read and advertised as an increase.
Why would you separate them? Or why would you put them together?
Yeah.
Because it, .75 and .4 or 4.
.49.
It feels a lot better than 5.5.
We have a third one out there too, because over time they just added them, and I think it's a lot for our voters to know that there's like 3 levies out there, and you're doing it again, and you're doing it again, and now here you come again.
But if you combine them, it looks like, almost like a replacement.
But it is though.
It is.
And that's where you get in trouble if we're replacing, but it looks like
Versus
an add-on.
renewal.
You know, and so when you said the prosecutor said you have to do this. If we combine them, it's addition. It's renewal plus an addition.
You just it has to be renewal plus, what's the verbiage, an increase.
Increase. But if you left them separately.
Separately, they're not
But you're also gonna maintain them at the valuation of 1995, and this would generate for us a couple more $1 million. And with our placement costs the way they are, we really do need an increase.
So if you leave them as is and they're voted on, wouldn't that automatically go up to the correct?
No, it
would
stays
stay.
So
a
each one
renewal.
won't have to be a renewal plus addition?
And I hate to go, I
Yeah.
think over the last 2 years, we really have been fully transparent
Right.
with the residents in Portage County. We are really in a placement crisis issue. We're gonna have to explain it in detail and go out in the public and speak, but I really believe it's in the best interest of our children to move forward at this space. If we fail, and I pray that we don't, we're still in a status quo situation, hoping to then pass it under a renewal umbrella. But I do truly believe we need to go for an increase at this time to increase our budget.
I get that. It's combining the two, so I'm taking a five point something and it adding to it versus,
But it's really not adding, it's exactly the same, it's just,
but we need, you said you need add-on.
but the increase is
Increase.
because
It's
my
the same
understanding.
it's the same
millage.
millage, it's
Millage.
just at current
It go up to-
valuation
Yeah.
instead of
Right.
1995.
Because now they're still placing them on 1995.
Right,
Correct.
valuation.
Didn't you say
They were doing
that he
it
had,
at-
it was an addition? Didn't you just say that?
It's my understanding through the prosecutor's office that it has to be communicated as an increase, that based on
Correct.
revised code, it has to be communicated and illustrated as an increase. But we can show,
It's the same millage, it's just the increase comes by the increase in the
Correct.
values that will now
Understood.
be
Yeah.
spread across.
Right.
So-
Aurora's got one for 5.9 on theirs, and it's gonna be interesting to see if theirs
if there's
passes.
passes. we wanna come before the voters and
Okay.
the public and pitch our case. We believe, we know how phenomenal the voters have been in all years past supporting kids that have been abused and neglected, and I've communicated a lot about the placement crisis issue, and we just need to continue to move. Unfortunately, it is what it is, but we need to continue to proactively care for these kids and make sure the right placements are there for them.
Just as long as you're ready with your pulpit. Okay.
So I present to you that resolution in hopes that you would pass this resolution of necessity. And then I would have to come back before you next month with the full resolution to move forward with putting it on the ballot.
Okay.
Okay. All right, I'll make a motion, that we approve a resolution of necessity for replacement of 2 levies to be combined into 1 replacement levy for a total of 1.24 mils for the benefit of Portage County and for the purpose of providing funds for the benefit of children's services for the care, placement, and treatment of abused, neglected, and dependent children.
Second.
Roll call.
Okay, are you waiting over there? Yes.
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 Thank you.
All right, and mine are pretty standard. Both of them are shared costs, child support for September and children's services for third payment, fourth quarter.
Okay, I'll make a motion to transfer from Fund 1414 Child Support Administration to 1410 Public Assistance Fund.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion to transfer from Fund 1415 Child Welfare Special Levy Fund to Fund 1410 Public Assistance Fund.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, ladies.
Oh, ladies, I got a quick question.
Nope.
I got an email yesterday from Andra from Leadership Portage County. She's still waiting to hear from you about the youth program to start in January, so she's getting a little anxious.
Mandy sent an email and said that she had emailed once or twice with no response. So maybe we don't have the right
Pick up
email.
the
Did I
phone.
get
Get
a
the
contact?
contact information
She
from
already
you?
said it.
Pick up phone.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Pick up
ladies.
phone.
Thanks.
Director Kravner.
Exactly.
Hello.
Morning, sir.
Well, good morning,
You're up.
ladies and gentlemen. How are you?
Good.
Hi, Will.
This is kind of informal. I just asked to be on the
Absolutely.
docket just to come in and officially discuss what Miss Sabrina and I have talked about briefly. I got a chance to meet you gentlemen the other day, but that was sheer happenstance. So officially, I wanted to come in and introduce myself as the new director for the Veteran Service Office.
Could you tell us about you and where you came from and who you are, and then get to the other part?
Sure.
If you can go that way.
Yeah, I can do that.
Tell us about you.
Will Craven, Ohio born and bred, from the Youngstown area. Was in the service for 23 years. Spent the last 10 years working for him as a contractor. And that's it. Here I am. I was on the Board of Commissioners for the Veteran Service Office for about 2.5 years before I took the position.
Very good.
And live in Streetsboro, wife, 7 children.
7?
Yep. Blended family.
Okay. I think I've got 9 because of blended with Debbie. Yeah.
I got a basketball team with some reserves.
Something.
Close to a soccer, but not.
Not quite soccer, no.
Okay. All right.
So assessments have been pretty much completed. We've got a lot of work to do. There's been a lot of dormant action. It's gone on for the past probably 10, 12 years within our office. So we're looking to make some changes internally, policy changes as well as how we do business. We must get out there and get to see the veterans more. So we're going to have to do some more outreach as opposed to just sitting in our seats and waiting for them to come to us. However, we have outgrown the space that we are currently in. And there's no way that we can service the veterans in the manner in which it's warranted in the capacity that we're currently sitting in. So I'm here officially to ask, where could we move?
I had suggested, and he went and took a tour, that if we don't pull through with the
Childcare.
yeah, that they would be happy because we don't have to do all those extra things because it's not a child care center, it's just gonna be office space. That they, maybe if we decide definitely no on the child care, that maybe they take a look at that, cause all they need is like the first floor office space. We don't have to have a lot of the special things that we have to have because of it being a child care center, so.
It's a little bit of square footage you have, is it 600-700, where you at now?
I don't even think it's that.
Okay, so
Yeah, I
small.
think
You
it's
got
less.
Office, little office up front.
Yeah.
They're small.
I'd much rather see it go to that anyway.
And in looking that over and in touring that, it would be more than just the first floor.
Yeah.
Sure.
With that encompasses, we have a permanent file base as well, so one room automatically goes to that.
Yeah,
We have storage, since the basement's not gonna be accessible.
yeah, cause that's already been given to the courts because they have files they have to keep permanently.
We gave it to the courts, did I miss something?
That was my understanding, that's what Shannon's understanding is
Okay.
they're trying to put the court stuff down there
Right,
that
and
they
what-
can't get
what
rid
court?
of.
What court?
There was an S on the end of that.
I never
Courts.
heard.
I didn't know we did that.
Yeah.
Well, let's just say,
Okay, yeah.
it's supposed to be used for, we're
That's a
running
lot
out of space
That's a
out
lot of
there.
space downstairs, I mean,
Yeah,
we can go to war and take it
And
over.
yeah, I've been up there and you're
Yeah.
crammed.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we're beyond crammed,
Yeah.
and there's policies and there's programs that we could be doing for our veterans that we currently can't do because we can't incorporate the positions because we got no place to set them.
well, plus you're talking to people and a lot of them don't really want everybody else to hear, and I get it.
And you can hear everything
Oh,
that's in
yeah.
the next room, in the hallways, everything.
Yeah.
So,
I think it'll work out good for you.
we've had people walk right up into our hallway that I've asked to have shut down, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
Shannon, wherever she's at.
yeah.
Yeah, so why don't we give that some thought and a couple
Sure.
things and then be able to
Absolutely.
give you an answer within the next week or so. on that.
All right,
So
sir.
you would need the first floor and you think some of the second or?
Most, if not all.
A
Really?
records room?
Our
Yeah.
records room.
So the first floor,
Is
The,
where-
the first floor is basically going to be all the veteran service officers.
okay, all right.
And I don't know that any of those doorways are 36 inches for compliance for wheelchairs, but that's about the only thing off the top of my head that really comes to mind of any kind of renovations that we would really need.
So you need the elevator there too, or the ramp,
No, sir, just the ramp out front.
okay.
If we maintain the entire first floor
Mhm.
as our service,
Mm-hmm,
about the only other thing that we have to work out is where we do our meetings, because it has to be
See,
accessible for wheelchairs and all, everything
the
as well.
code is, if it's 4 floors, you have to have an elevator. And since it's not, and he's just using
I got you.
first and second, but the elevator, cause I asked that and I said, I don't even know if we're required to have an elevator in there because it's only 3 levels. And I think Shannon or someone checked into it and
They were talking about
it was
that last
right.
week,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But you're saying on the second floor, what would you use the second floor for?
It would also be office space and what have you, but there is a conference area room that's up there that other agencies within the community could use, but most of it would be, most if not all, would be office space for those individuals that just couldn't, like the director's position, for instance.
Yeah.
I think it's more important to have the VSOs downstairs on the first floor to service
Yeah.
our veterans versus having me down there. They don't need to see my face. The VSOs are there to help them.
Yeah.
So office manager, driver positions, what have you. Anything that's not pertinent to the everyday operation of servicing our veteran population, they could go on the second floor.
Okay.
But when you start talking about a reception area and then office manager area, break room, you have records room, the entire first floor is gone.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I just, yes,
So, you needed accessible or handicap, you said?
no,
Yes,
he's
ma'am.
got the ramp,
Currently,
right?
we don't have a ramp over there, do we?
There
Not
is
yet.
not,
To the
but
first floor.
Sabrina told me that the pitch is all wrong on the steps that they have up front anyway. So, speak of the devil, and the steps are going away, and they're gonna be redone and then have a ramp installed at the same time.
Okay, so
If
they,
Shannon has to go that route.
If they,
if we
those
approve,
guys
if
approve
we,
it.
Shannon,
if we approve this, so the ramp we were gonna need anyway?
It's gonna have to be a different, yeah, we need one anyway.
Anyway, yeah.
If you're gonna,
And so
because we
it's-
don't have an elevator.
Shannon, you
Correct.
wanna come up front here, just so that
Yes.
you and
Don't hide
Will
behind me.
took, Shannon took Will over there to take
Thank
a
you,
look
kind
at
sir.
it.
Yeah, here you go. Sit
Yes.
down.
He's a gentleman and a scholar.
Yes, he is.
So Shannon, what would it entail for us
But,
to let the
second
vets
one,
move
right.
over there?
So, we got cost, I don't know what you guys talked about already.
We talked about
I need
first and
another
second floor.
place to work.
Okay, so he's gonna have to, we have to paint, it's gonna have to be painted and carpeted, which I believe.
Big stuff. Let's talk about big
Basic.
stuff.
Big stuff?
Yeah.
Ramp and probably a handicap button is what I think you
A
would need.
handicap button?
You know, so you can hit it to
And the
open the
door
door.
Oh, the door, oh, okay.
It's, I already got a quote on it,
Okay.
$3,000.
Okay.
Yeah, the door's 36 inches. Each of the
I
offices.
believe they are, but I don't know that.
Now,
You have
Will,
to
is
measure.
there any kind of funding, since you're a veteran service, to help with like the ramp and stuff, or
Oh, there is.
that?
We'd have to look into it, but yes, ma'am, there is.
I did get cost on carpeting and paint. Did you bring those numbers with you that I sent you?
Yes. I have them in the email, yes, ma'am.
Okay. I got, there are quotes on the carpeting and then the paint. I believe it was $26,000 per floor for carpeting. And the painting was $9,000 per floor.
And to be totally honest, a lot of the carpeting looked to be
Okay by you?
okay.
Okay. Not very picky.
And what do you, how much do you have in your maintenance fund that?
We did discuss this, and I believe that you did state that you would be able to pay for maybe possibly carpeting and or paint.
Correct.
Um,
I
If
have
you
to
said
take,
no carpeting, just paint?
so paint.
I have to take it before my board, of course. but
Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
Okay.
So.
We can work together on this,
And I
absolutely.
believe we can get the cost down of the ramp. The ramp that was gonna go in during our bidding was going to be it was going to match the exterior of the, building. So it was gonna be brick going down this way with a rail and concrete, but we can get other quotes for a ramp if you guys would like me to. I just have to get several, cause that was
The
put in
ramp-
the
Ramp
bid.
to blend in, right?
Maybe
Yeah,
just
we
concrete.
don't wanna do crappy stuff
Yeah,
with
Do
the
you remember how the
veterans.
ramp was $80,000? I do not have that in my budget for this year.
Right.
Okay, so,
And
well,
there's
we can get.
possibility.
Maybe we
Possibility,
get,
yeah.
maybe we get an estimate of total cost
sure.
to move them, so that Will can go to his board. And maybe would you need Shannon to be there to go over the stuff, or can she just
No,
give you an
I-
itemized list?
As
and-
long as she gives me the numbers, I brief pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then you'd be able to start looking at grants for that, or?
Yes, sir, if
Okay.
there are
If
any
there
out
are, if
there,
there are.
yes, sir.
that kind
I
of-
would just start at the state and call
Okay, yeah,
them.
absolutely.
And then you were gonna, I believe, you gonna utilize just the first floor or both floors?
Both floors
Well,
is what
we're
we're
just
asking
went,
for.
yeah. He was gonna, he gets top floor, cause he's gonna oversee
and
it.
Shannon, can you recap,
No.
what are we using the basement for storage for the courts?
We are using it for the judges, because the judges,
Yeah.
probate court has to keep,
7,000 years.
right.
When did we decide that?
When we talked about it, when we
Yeah.
were doing the occupancy permit for the annex building.
Okay.
Cause we wanted to maximize, and we're running out of storage. so
And they
that's-
don't have any more storage, like probate's like pretty much full in Glenn's area, so we're hoping, the judges, not we, but the judges were hoping to move, at least when Judge Smith started, those into the basement over there.
You know, there's a courtroom or courthouse out in Kent that has 5,500 square feet that we can't get to,
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Cause that's a good place to put their records.
and it's dry.
Yeah.
Bone
Yes.
dry.
I believe there's
And
been
it goes
discussion
10
about
foot,
this in the
15
But
foot
ours
past.
will be too, but I'm
So-
just saying.
They've got 15-foot ceilings there.
Yeah.
Thought. Okay, we'll stick with it. Well, okay, all right. Yeah, let us look at that for this week or so and come up with an answer
Plus, we
for
need
that.
to talk to Kelly Jo
Yeah.
and let her know.
I did talk to Kelly Jo.
Oh, did you?
She-
What did she
After
say?
our last meeting, she said, thank you for letting me know. She didn't say anything else.
Okay, all right, yeah, so let's look at that.
Great
Well,
idea.
thank you
Well,
very much.
thanks,
That's
I
great.
appreciate
All right,
it.
All right.
Good to
Thank
see
you so
sir.
much, good to see
Good to see
you,
you.
gentlemen. Ma'am,
Yep.
so who can I expect to hear from in a week or so?
Well, Shannon will
This
get
lady?
stuff for us. And
Yeah,
I
we'll
guess
know, yeah,
You'll get
One of us.
estimates, and then
I
it
did get
depends
two,
on.
so I've gotten a couple estimates.
Yeah, I
just-
would need to know some of the particulars that are the high ticket items so that I could go forward and say, hey, they're saying that they're okay with this, but it might cost us this much.
Yeah, I think I just need to get a cost on a potential ramp for you.
Okay.
And then we have to
Cons-
decide if we're gonna put Ixnay on the other project.
Childcare. Correct. I did say something
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that, and she just said thank you for letting me
And
know. I
in
just said as of right
fairness,
now, we are
I
not
wanna
going
make sure we
Right,
talk to our director.
absolutely.
And you guys would too.
Yep, absolutely.
I just
All
want
right.
to give her a heads up.
Yep, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay,
Thanks.
all right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Any public comment? No public comment? All right. Ladies before gentlemen. Dawn, you're up.
Hi, Dawn.
Good morning. Huh?
Oh, well, in that case.
You're
No
what?
public comment. Woo-hoo.
No public comment. Come forth, ma'am.
I'm public session.
Or I'm exec.
Executive session.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, yeah, we'll just, it's not gonna be a week.
Okay, great. Is it gonna be a long one? Because we have until
We got till
11:15. We got 15 minutes.
Okay.
Because that's a public one, we can't start late.
Okay, go ahead and read your executive session.
Well, I'll make a motion in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code 121.22G4. The Board of Commissioners move into executive sessions, preparing for and conducting negotiation sessions with public employees concerning their compensation of the terms and condition of their employment.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tommy?
Yes. Okay,
I'll make a motion to come out of executive session.
Second.
roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Is there any action?
Yes. No action, you gotta, don't have this.
No, they gotta come back.
No, no action.
Oh, no.
Thank you.
Bye. Good job, Dawn.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. How long can we be?
We're gonna make more than that.
Okay.
There are 5 minutes.
We got like 4 minutes before we start.
Sorry, it's a
Sorry,
public advertised meeting, so we have to wait till 1:15.
Go watch TV, Mom.
There's popcorn on their desk and cookies and.
Hi, Chief.
You know the way my heart.
Morning, morning,
Good.
gentlemen.
How you doing?
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Long time.
Yeah.
Long time.
Yeah.
Hey,
what,
Jay, how
12
are you?
hours?
Good.
Hey, Jay.
Hi, Jay.
How's family doing, Jay?
Oh, we're doing good. We're doing good. I was just telling Jim out there, two's a lot now, guys.
Really?
Changes. It changes with two. Like I told him, my wife's amazing. If she asks, make sure you guys tell her I said that.
Uh-huh.
This is recorded, honey.
Not yet.
She, with our son, it was so much easier, right? Because it was one, and
Yeah.
so I could take her, he could take her, and she did a lot of it because she's great. And now with two, like he needs something, she needs something. I'm getting pulled out. I'm doing that. I'm like, it's a lot different, all right? I'm not complaining because it's great, but whew, whew. And then I thank you everybody.
How old's your
for
first one?
Year and a half.
Year and a half.
Oh,
Okay.
Lord.
Yeah. Pretty quick.
We just had, they had 4 under.
Four.
4 of them
Under
under.
four.
They're
5 under 5.
Was it 5 under 5?
5 years old
Yeah,
and
it
down.
is 5 under 5.
Whatever
No,
year.
it's 4 under 4.
4 under 4.
We
Oh,
said
they bought a
next it's
TV.
5 under 5.
4, 5,
Nope.
10.
Nope. 2 under
4, 5, 10.
2.
We were gonna send Dr. Valamenti to explain how that works.
Yeah, I volunteered my services.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Anyway.
No, to explain how that works.
It's a handful.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no. So yeah, no, it's been, and thank you guys we had a little issue there right after the pregnancy and stuff, and we had to postpone, so I appreciate everybody on that. That was my fault, so.
Good.
Not a fault.
Greatly appreciate it, and those reaching out and stuff, awesome, I truly appreciate it.
Ryan, we brought you in to sing and dance,
I can do that, sir.
please.
Don't judge a book by its cover. I can move.
You got 3 minutes
Sing
to
me
show
at
us.
weddings.
What are we doing?
Yeah, do it.
We are calling you on the carpet.
Do it.
Lucky enough, I've had the Love Shack song forever.
Whatever.
So that one comes on.
As a matter of fact, Mike's got that on his phone.
I'll make sure that doesn't happen.
I sent you an email about, that, presentation that I'm gonna take care of with Kelly Jo about, taxes,
Yeah.
changes on replacement levies and all that good stuff. I'm gonna send
Yeah, because they're trying to do away with them.
Right, so I'm gonna make sure she has that.
COVID shot. Jesus. Does your arm work?
It works pretty good. But last night when I went to bed, it was like,
Uh-huh.
I was freezing.
Really?
It was freezing, my whole body was freezing. Couldn't get enough light.
No good.
I'm okay now.
No good.
No. Nope. Nope. There they are.
Okay.
We've got just
One more
about a
minute.
minute.
Cassidy. Is it 11:15 yet?
Clock's a little
Did
fast.
everyone sign in? Did you have a sign-in sheet?
We do have a sign-in sheet.
No, we have to have a sign-in.
Yep.
Mine says, I don't know what's wrong with yours.
It's there right now. Cassidy, we're ready.
Okay, we're live.
Board of Commissioners, Portage County Board of Commissioners will recess to the Portage County meeting, recess at this time. And we will reconvene as Board of Commissioners. Go ahead.
So we're gonna recess,
And then,
and we're gonna
convene.
we're gonna go into the Portage Jaga Joint Board of Commissioners meeting.
yep, there you go.
Okay.
We have everybody getting signatures. Okay. All right, I'm gonna do journal entries.
I'll make a motion, the Joint Board of Commissioners approves the amended December 15th, 2022 meeting minutes.
Second.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Mike,
Abstain.
Tony,
Yes.
Oh, no,
James,
Weren't you?
Yes.
not for that one.
and Ralph.
Need some?
I was here, but not as a commissioner.
Okay, you're in Jaga.
Yes, those, there was nothing wrong
That
with the
was
minutes, it was
this
just the signature page was all that
Oh.
needed corrected, so
Okay.
we just need a couple signatures from you gentlemen before you leave today.
Okay.
But everything was fine with the
Then the
minutes.
abstention was I wasn't commissioner on December 15th.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, I'll make a motion, the Joint Board of Commissioners approves the June 27th, 2023 meeting minutes.
second.
Roll call.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
and Ralph.
Okay, I'll make a motion, the Board of Commissioners acknowledge receipt of the official certificate of estimated resources for the year beginning January 1st, 2024, as presented by the Portage County Budget Commission.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
and Ralph.
Okay, takes us down to resolutions. I'll make a motion for the amendment to the Portage County Joint Juvenile Detention Center's annual appropriation resolution number 22-005 dated December 15th, 2022 for the additional funds from the Department of Education Title I program.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Ralph.
Okay, I'll make a motion, to pass the amendment to the Portage County Joint Juvenile Detention Center's annual appropriation resolution number 22-005 dated December 15th, 2022 for additional funds from the Department of Education National School Lunch Program.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Ralph.
Oh, there's Jay. Good morning, sir.
Morning all.
You can sit there, you can sit up here, whichever. You're here, you're on camera.
Good places.
I, a little bit here, just so I'm speaking to the
Yep.
crew
Yeah,
here.
that's good.
So, the two resolutions I think you're passing those, that was just simply where we, received more money than anticipated. This, should be around, the ending of COVID-esque money that we anticipate getting, so that's kinda what that was, this, extra funding that we received that we just put in. The general questions that we typically talk about at these meetings, our population this morning when we were in there was 18 as we came in, so that's a little bit more of an uptick from last time. Our operations have continued. We have 2 detention officer vacancies that we're looking to fill, 1 assistant supervisor, but everything else seems to be going well. Also, we have the project you guys asked me, the Portage County Juvenile Court project, you asked me to give updates on that.
Yeah.
As we meet, excuse me. All is going well with that project. Appears to be on slate. There's no hiccups that I'm aware of at this point. The only thing we had was just minor things where they do change orders and stuff. There's been no major changes to the project as I'm aware of, so everything's on pace for that, and they've already stripped out the entire first phase, and they're starting to already do the rebuilds and all that for the to finish up the first phase, so it's going well as well. So if there's any questions, I'd obviously be willing to answer those.
No.
No, I don't have any questions. Does anyone else have any comments or questions for Jay?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Okay.
If not, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
and Ralph.
All right. Now you have signatures for them before they
Oh,
leave?
they're done?
Yes, I just have these 2 signatures from these gentlemen ready.
Okay, perfect.
And that's it. Greatly appreciated, thank you.
have any minutes or anything that they need to sign? From the last minute? Yes, from the last meeting.
This is.
Cause we have to send some back to their clerk as well for records and then we keep them.
I was going to scan them to her, is that okay?
Oh, okay.
We're still working that process.
The skin.
It's okay.
We're
I just wanna make sure before everyone leaves that we get everything.
Commissioner DeWark, I apologize, I have one more for you to sign.
Okay. Just me?
No, not just you.
Okay.
Anything I need to take back? Or anything to
I don't know, is there anything you need to take back?
No.
Okay.
Typically, it's just the tax budgets or the final budgets when we do that stuff.
Yes, I
Just
know.
when the document's completed, we send it over, but.
You gotta send it to her.
No,
Okay.
no, that's all, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen, for coming today.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, good seeing you.
You bet.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice seeing you, Mr. Dvorak.
It's very nice of you.
Thank you.
How long has you had this like this?
7 months, 7 months?
Oh, you painted and everything?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
New
It's been all
logo
within
behind
this
us.
year. Look at us, fancy pants. We gotta keep up with Joga.
Well.
We went traditional.
You gotta work at that.
Yes, come back.
Bye. Have a-
See you
Have a good
later,
day,
Jim.
Jim.
Bye, Jane.
Bye.
Thank you.
Take care.
Do you have stuff you want
Commissioner
to say?
Tinlin.
Yeah,
Oh,
you can.
we gotta reconvene
Okay.
into the Board of Commissioners.
We'll reconvene in Board of Commissioners, Portage County, regular session.
I'm gonna try to be as nice and as candid as I can be with this program. As I took over in January, some people knew my background, and I started getting phone calls in February in regards to rescue squad response time in the areas of Paris, Palmyra, Edinburgh, Atwater, and Deerfield, and a little emphasis towards Charleston. But they were coming in a flurry. So I started looking at response time and the problem with it and what we can do about it. And I guess my concern was that the problem had come up to us and to me as a commissioner, and knowing that there was an issue and I didn't do anything about it, I would feel horrible. So I started looking into it, and it was horrible. We're talking 50 minutes to an hour response time for rescue squads. I'm just going to use a for instance of a couple calls. Paris gets a call 11:15 in the morning. The pager goes off, the chief is at work, and he knows he has no one. They wait 10 to 12 minutes, and the call goes out to Palmyra for mutual aid. Another 10 or 12 minutes, nobody responds. The call goes out to Edinburgh. And that's how this has been happening. Some departments in that southeast area of our county has maybe one EMT or one paramedic on duty, and that's it. And they're acting as a first responder in hopes that Deerfield, Atwater, Paris, Palmyra, Edinburgh has someone to respond. And sometimes, going through that list I just gave you, now we're going into Newton Falls, Lake Milton, Randolph, and Edinburgh, or Rootstown, to handle these calls. Now, if you have a loved one that's sitting there waiting for a response, and nobody shows, I think it would really freak you out, and it does me just thinking about it. A lot of those calls down in that direction, they're trying their best, and that's the part where I'm going to be candid. They're trying, but it's not working. You talk to myself. I pulled Ryan into this maybe in April, May, asking for some help just to look at some things. And we looked at it very open-minded, quite frankly. And we decided to meet with the fire chief of each of those locations.
We were invited to.
And we were invited, as along with a trustee. And all of those to which, after we got kind of started in looking at this, a lot of them were on mark. We can't find people. We don't pay enough. We don't have enough training, etc. Now, I, as a commissioner, do not want to bring before the board to take over all of this without you folks knowing about where we are to date. And where we are to date is this. 5 out of the 6 basically said, please help us. Please, please help us. I was very impressed at Edinburgh. Their chief, who also works for the State Fire Marshal's office, has knowledge of some of the things that are going on within that section of the county. A trustee was present, and they pretty much said, here's the keys to our ambulance, and we'll help you in any way we can. We're building a new station, and we'll make a spot for you in there.
Trying to build a new station.
Yep. Yeah, they're trying to build a new station. So the response from some have been outstanding. We have one that government's not taking over that. Well, you know what? That trustee who likes to run his gums needs to check his call stats, because he doesn't know what his call stats are like. And have him check the call stat for Labor Day. And he'll realize in his township, he is not taking care of his constituents. I have a compassion. I started running an ambulance when I was 16 years old. And I ran ambulance up until the day I retired. It's a compassion. Number one, I love people. And number two, you should not have to wait for an ambulance or a rescue squad. And that section has no fault of its own. It's the areas that they live. And I've heard that from a couple people that said, well, they knew that when they moved there. You know what? That's not a good answer for me. Not a good answer. So what Ryan and I have worked at, and we have dates and times and response times, and we have audio of people calling back 2 and 3 times. Where is the rescue squad? Where is the rescue squad? This is not something made up. You can go to any chief in that southeast section, except for one, because I don't think they know what they want. My proposal to each one of those chiefs were this. We would try to provide an emergency rescue service through the county for that area. It's a lot of money. Startup costs are horrible. But I have had, in the last meeting we had, they too said, we can make sleeping quarters, and here's the keys to our ambulance. And there are some that, we're not taking over a fire department. If we get a crash where we need extrication, those fire departments are also going to be available to respond, to help with extrication from a vehicle. But to sit back and make comments that the government isn't taking over and show me you can provide a service to our constituents. Just show me. 10 to 12 minutes is about the max of response time within our county. You go to Aurora, you go to Kent, Streetsboro, Brimfield, Suffield, Boom, like this. Rootstown, awesome fire departments, awesome rescue service. If I get hurt, that's where I want to be. But I don't want to be laying on a road at 224 and 225 and waiting for an ambulance. It's not good. It's not good. So what I've done is since February, I've been all over the place. UH Hospital wants to partner with us in regards to this program, and that includes starting up their advanced EMT class because they dropped it during COVID and they haven't started it back. They're willing to do that. We're also working with Maplewood and trying to get fire class and EMS class back because everybody in the area is complaining they don't have anyone, but we're not helping to supply a program for them to get into. So that's another area that we're working on. UH Portage has told me they would supply us with a doctor to sign off on drugs that are needed for the squad and training, and a run review doctor. Also, they have 2 ground units up at the airport, and if we get disheveled or all 3 of ours are out, they can drop down and be a unit available. And that's the concern. Not only having a rescue squad available, but a person available to go to the scene. That's where we're at kind of now. We have our due diligence to meet with everyone in that area. The second phase of that is several counties in the state of Ohio have recently went to a county-wide EMS. Not our goal. Our goal is to provide service where it's needed, and it's not getting it now. We all know that the county's not getting any younger, and when you look at the southeast section of our county, those people are in homesteads. They're not moving. They're staying there. And there's developments that want to come in to different places. They sure don't want to hear this kind of banter and discussion. So my goal is to utilize funds that aren't taken from our taxpayer to provide 3 ambulances for the southeast section of the county, which is approximately 15,000 residents, to cover that area 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and when they call, they know they're getting a paramedic. They're getting an ambulance for transport. Some of these areas have responded where they needed a paramedic. They had EMTs, and they had to stop along the road and wait for Rootstown to bring a paramedic in a pickup truck to get a line and get some fluids in this person. So I can go on for hours of the problems that section's having. And if you talk to an intelligent chief, which most of them are, they'll tell you the same exact thing that we have found out in our discussion. Now, we have startup costs, and I feel that if we utilize the fire departments, just give me a little skin in the game. You don't need to give us a lot. Just give us a little skin in the game. And by doing that is, if you have an ambulance that you're willing to part with, I'll give you $1 a year to rent it. But 3 of the departments have brand new squads. You go to a couple areas where probably in the last 9 months they've had an ambulance in their garage, maybe an unborrowed, I'm talking about their vehicle, probably 4 months without one. People don't know that, residents don't know that. And I went to the southeast section of our county, knocked on doors. Hey, how you doing? Mike Tinlin, new commissioner. How's everything going for you? Good, good. I'm just here to ask you a question. If you pick up your phone and dial 911, what is your expectation? Well, my expectation is I'm going to get an ambulance. right away. I said, okay, define right away. Oh, within 10 minutes. Okay, thank you very much. Have a nice day. I did that to 11 residents. One told me the truth because he had to utilize an ambulance because his daughter fell out of a tree and broke her arm and her ankle. And he said he waited, and I'm not going to say how long. I'm not going to say where it was. But the residents of that area have a very poor expectation. It's ridiculous. Now, I'm not saying anything negative. The chiefs have been great. Don't want to take over their fire departments, and I don't want that to happen. They do a great job. They tried to do this 5-6 years ago with a fire district for the entire county, and that just doesn't work. It's not here to work. But when I'm sitting here, and I know that 15,000 residents of Portage County are without or delayed EMS service, I have a problem. And if I don't do something about it or look into it, I feel bad. I feel guilty, and I'm just as guilty. So that's kind of like where we are. This has been a building block. There have been no decisions at all made. They've all been questions and what's your expectation of a rescue squad in your area. So that's kind of like where we are right now.
Even ask for feedback regarding what's
Yep.
your ideas, what's your thoughts, what do you like, what you don't like, what do you think we can improve on, just
And-
really just general feedback.
Yeah, when
from
there's
the community.
people not around and it's just us, the feedback's a lot different than it's, Sabrina, I saw you at the store. You got to hear this one. And hey, Tony, yeah, you know what that guy's trying to do? And it's ridiculous. I listened to a township trustee meeting the other day, and if I had time to get in my car and drive there, I would have, because 90% of what that little man was saying was inappropriate and wrong. And we have given the same story to every chief and every township trustee that wanted to meet with us. And they all know they have a problem. So that's where I am today.
So I'll go back to your beginning part of it. This is really gonna be expensive.
I didn't know there were gonna be questions.
Always.
Oh, yes.
Always.
We have questions.
Always. It's gonna be expensive. I'll ask both of them at the same time. There are a couple, I think I've heard like 2 or 3 that already have fire EMS type levies on there. Would we try, attempt to get the people that we're gonna serve by that? Because we do have a bunch of other places that do have fire and ambulance levies, and they do that, even the cities that you mentioned have those. So what does a lot mean? Are the townships gonna be encouraged to put levies on to cover ambulance services or fire levies? And you and I have mentioned this before, that if I was gonna start a business and I needed $1 million, I wanna know what happens when the $1 million goes away. 6 months in the practice, I had $600 left, and it turned, so the insurance started collecting. Those are my questions.
Okay, well, if you look at the big picture, I have those questions, the levy questions, out to our attorney, Chris Maduri, and he's gonna write up an idea and a proposal as to how to deal with the levies.
Yep.
There's only 2 that are active.
Right.
And they are, one is a fire EMS, and the other one is just an EMS. Atwater's running another levy, and it's just solely a fire levy. So he's gonna explain to us how that works. I really expected it before today, but I haven't got it yet. The other side of that is what we call soft billing, and that is this. If you live in the county and an ambulance comes to you from Portage County, the ambulance picks you up, takes you to the hospital, and we use a billing company right here in Ravenna that the fire departments are using for their rescue squads. And the soft billing is this. If you live in the county, you'll pay what your insurance pays, and that's it. If you don't, and you live outside the county, you're billed for the full amount of an ambulance run. So on the side of merging with, or working with UH. They are putting together stats, which I was hoping to have today. That's what my phone's going off from. It's UH. But what those stats are is how many calls did each one of these departments run in 2021, 2022, and up to where we are today. Because all the run med control information goes through them. So they're putting that together for us. That's gonna help us decide whether it behooves us to do something, or we look at Plan B with what are these departments doing? Because I gotta be honest with you, I'm not gonna stand here and watch people die, and it's happening. The time frame is ridiculous. So the money factor to continue and sustain the ambulance service, I'm in hopes with the billing and the soft billing to bring us the income. The startup cost, yeah, we're gonna need startup costs, and it also depends
Yes.
on.
Guesstimate? Or if you don't have that off the top of your head, I'm just.
A little over $1 million, $1.1 million, $1.2 million.
How long does $1 million last me?
Don't know that answer yet till I get some stats, and that's the problem. Like I said, we're just putting this together. We're not at that answer your question right now, but I get it.
Yeah, see, as you're speaking, and this is one question I haven't asked. So, there are ambulances out there sitting silent because I don't have a paramedic to put them in. Would it be cheaper to pay for paramedics for a couple townships?
Well, and we looked at that also. The problem is some of them, their ambulances
Are substandard.
Yeah. I did look at another avenue. I did look at and speak to 3 private companies and said, hey, just let's try it from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Because some of the guys that are on departments are farmers and they're working during that time. And other people are at work. And right now, it's a national problem of trying to fill the spots. And I get that. I understand that. I looked at that. Went to look at privates. Talked to 3. One private said, we'll be more than happy. How many ambulances do you want? No charge. How many you want? 3. And he said, okay, that's great. We'll bring where you want them. And then he says, but let me just tell you something. I'm a businessman. And if those ambulances are sitting in a fire station with no calls, I'm not making money. So if I get a hospital transport from Akron to Youngstown, or he said, I'm taking it. And what's that do? Takes the ambulance out of service
And
from
that's the
there.
businessman thinking,
That's exactly
how do we
right.
make money off of this? And
Right.
The
I don't-
ours is how do we not lose it?
And how do we sustain it? That's all I care about. This isn't a moneymaker, this is a lifesaver. And not one of these.
Don't
It's
chew on that.
saving residents. And I'm into that.
Okay.
And most of these townships and their residents do not realize what they're up against.
So my questions, I have a couple questions. My question is, what is from keeping those 6 communities and having like a joint district EMS?
There's nothing keeping them, but it's not working for them now.
Well, they have what we call, what is it? Where they
Mutual
back-
aid.
Mutual
Mutual
aid.
aid.
Okay.
And it's not working.
No.
So what is from keeping them? Here's my concern, is first of all, we have 18 townships, we have 4 cities, and we have 6 villages in Portage County. And we're taking 6 of these townships and we are taking over to provide EMS services to them. Granted, they're needed, I'll give you that. But my problem is the sustainability, because why should my tax dollars, I live in Ritztown, go to sustain 6 other townships when I have a fire department, and yeah, they're in good shape, but what eventually if they're not and they wanna come to us for funding?
Well, first of all, that's why we don't start it out with tax dollars. We're not utilizing, you live in Russtown, I live in Broomfield. I have an awesome fire department. When you talk about tax dollars, if you look at the map of Portage County, and I have all of my office mapped out, there's not another area in Portage County that's having problems with the fire or EMS. None.
But any startup money we would give is taxpayers' dollars.
No, it's not.
As you're talking ARPA money?
Correct.
We don't even know if we have any leftover ARPA money.
Well, our girls here.
Jackie, do you have that figure?
We don't have a figure right now. We're in the process of reviewing that to see what might be remaining.
And there's other grants that are available for what we're talking about, so that it's not taxpayers' money. There's no way I wanna start that up, because that was my thought. You look at a residence, up north, and say, we have good ambulance service, why am I paying for the 6
Right.
down south?
Exactly.
And that's not gonna happen.
And that's my concern though, but yet we hear the startup, but we all know billing is not reliable, and people, even if they get billed, they don't always pay it. So that is my concern, is why would we not have these 6 communities go together, and then they could put on a levy for their communities to cover this EMS joint district.
I'm open for anything.
Okay.
Right
Well, I'm
now,
just asking, I'm not.
right now, the problem was,
Because I don't think this is something we wanna undertake as county commissioners.
I think it is. I cannot sit here and listen to the calls and.
So what are their trustees saying? Cause they're the closest government to these districts, and when they hear why are they not going for levies to support, getting better equipment, but,
Cause they can't pay people enough. They just can't do it. The other side of that is 5 out of the 6 are on board, and that's one trustee, one township, 2 of them came. But that's one trustee from every township except Deerfield.
Is it feasible to, Mike?
Deerfield is a negativity.
Is it feasible to, as we're having this in open session,
Yep.
is getting the trustees to come here? I mean, if you had 15 of them or 18 of them, or at least one representative from each.
I'm hoping that we'll have some billing statistics, call statistics, and a few other things together, which I'm gonna present to the trustees on the 18th.
Well, see, that's where I think this needs to go to, is to them. If they don't have the buy-in to do this, the trustees don't, why are we taking on this burden? And if the taxpayers in those communities will not pay enough to where they can replace equipment or hire people, then life's about choices, and they will be making that choice. And that's my concern with this. I think it's a wonderful ideal, but I don't think we should necessarily be the one that takes on this. I think that's where, Mike, you go to those trustees and show them the statistics and say, because they have leverage power. Or maybe they do a joint district, just like Shalersville and Manaway do a joint fire district.
Well, I asked a couple, and you don't wanna know the answers, right now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I did ask, and the other is, 3, 5, and 8, come on in and look at our stats for our southeast side of the county, and I don't wanna do that. I just don't wanna do that.
I do think there's an opportunity for the district side of the house. I do think there's
Yeah.
opportunity. There's already counties in Ohio who are doing exactly what Mike's saying, so both are viable options. I just think they've tried the district out there before without being able to get it completed.
Right.
And with the revenue they're bringing in, I don't know if they're gonna be able to retain the staff on their current pay rates.
But if we do it
They're
for
not competing.
6, we have to do it for all.
No, I don't believe that.
I do, and like you said, other counties have a county-wide. There's the difference.
There's
When we're
other
looking at
counties-
6.
yeah, there's other counties.
So on the 18th of in November, you're presenting this to
The
If we have all the
Township?
if we have all the stats.
And that's, and that,
And I'm gonna play videos.
Yeah.
Audios.
Yeah.
So y'all can hear
That's-
the
And I understand
stress
that.
in
I
these
understand that, but it's also at hospitals, it's everywhere, everyone's short-staffed, even in medical, I mean, so I understand that, but again, I'm trying to figure out why the trustees would not step up and try to do a joint district or put a levy on the ballot to support these services for those specific citizens, or the citizens not willing to pay for it.
There's
I mean,
instances where the chiefs out there are begging for a second person on shift.
Right.
And they're not putting the second person on shift with current revenue, if they have it or they don't, which is willfully admitting you're not able to run a squad and transport. So if you're saying you're gonna put one person on a shift for 24 hours, that is not legal enough to run a transport to the hospital system.
If you live
So-
and correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
If you live in Palmyra or Edinburgh, from midnight to 6 a.m., if you need a rescue squad, you get the Palmyra chief and you get the Edinburgh chief. They're the
Together
ones-
on one of their squads.
Yep, they're the ones running.
Yeah, so I still don't have a problem with this thought process at all, but I was gonna be there, we will be there, to be able to hear what the township say.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm
And
curious
that-
to see
that
what the
is-
trustees
I think
are with this.
With that, and I think the work you've done is pretty incredible, to try to identify this, but I wanna see what the reaction is of the
Yeah,
townships.
I'm not gonna speak for them, but we know.
No,
the
we
reaction.
want,
Yeah.
the person that you're referring to, I got an earful Saturday morning.
Well, he needs
And that's
to-
okay.
Yeah, and that's right.
And that's all, it's, hey, if you don't wanna do it, you don't have to do it.
Nope.
And that is, and I have no problem with that. But I think what you've done is excellent, you've identified a significant problem, and we go to the next step.
I would say we can speak on behalf, called us.
Yep.
And said the county needs to do something.
And they-
We don't know what to do.
The first
Absolutely.
words out of
Atwater's
their
the only
mouth-
one that's progressive,
Right.
Yeah.
that seemed to say we're looking at other options. Atwater was the
Yep.
only one
Yeah.
out of the 6 of them that said, hey,
And they said help.
Charlestown may be in a different situation within the next year.
Yeah.
'Cause-
So
it's-
that's, and I mean, that, are you gonna bring bouncers to the township meeting?
I'm fine.
Okay.
So would it be fair to say we can assist Commissioner Tinley in gathering information?
So
We don't have
keep
everything
getting
straight
information.
yet.
Yeah.
This was just to kind of get,
Yeah.
First time out in public.
So we need this
I think it's great.
information,
Yeah.
here's what we're working on, this is just the beginning
Exactly.
stages of putting a plan together.
Yep.
To get out to everybody, we're gonna work on some things, gather some facts, work with some ARPA funds, we do have a legal opinion that states we can use
I just read that
ARPA funds.
yesterday.
We do have that,
Yeah.
and, let's see exactly where we're at with some ARPA funds, so we still have some work to
Yeah.
do.
Right.
You were just wanting to get,
Cool.
hey people, here's
Let
what
you know where we're
here's
at,
what we're
yeah.
working on, yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of work.
It's a
There's a
coming
lot
out,
of
your coming out
logistics
party.
to work out.
Oh, yeah.
So we can all work together and assist Commissioner Tinley
Yep,
on
all right,
getting
yeah.
that information.
I think we continue move gathering information.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm interested to see why the trustees don't see that there's a need to do this and
There's-
try to have a resolution to this.
I think they
Sometimes it's
know.
okay to be blind,
I just,
or chose.
whether willfully or not willfully,
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
they know.
that's
Alright.
the scare.
They all know it's a problem.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
move
we gotta
forward if there's
recess.
nothing else.
On this phone call.
All right, is there anything else to come forward the board this morning?
Motion to adjourn.
No, second.
Roll call.
Mike?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Is anybody going to Aurora?
Tonight?
No.
I can't make it.
Where are you
I
going to
can't
Aurora
make it.
for?
That ribbon cutting?
Trentstone?
September.
No, cause now I have to go.
There ain't no way we can
Okay.
make it.
It starts from 12 to 2.
Wait,